All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are live. Welcome, everybody, to a special early emergency broadcast. It is 8:30 a.m. on the West Coast, and what does that make it? 11:30 a.m. on the East Coast. It is a Friday morning, August 22nd. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have some big, exciting, crazy news. President Trump is going to be, in about a half hour, stepping into the Oval Office and giving another special national emergency address from the Oval Office. Now, as a little bit of a forward here, we don't actually know what today's address is going to be about. Some of the previous addresses he's given from the Oval Office, we kind of had an idea. Nobody really knows what this one is going to be about today. Of course, you know, I'm not on the inside. I'm not an industry insider. I'm like you guys. I'm trying to piece everything together here. The best I can see, I'm seeing some rumbling, some whispers. What is this going to be about? The only thing I see people talking about today is that perhaps, maybe, President Trump himself is going to actually federalize a bunch of sanctuary cities across the entire country. That's what I see a lot of people talking about. And I don't know if that's based off of fact or some type of insider information, or if that's just, maybe speculation or maybe hopeful optimism. I think a lot of people want that to happen. I would not be opposed to that. I think it's probably about time. But over the last maybe a week and a half, couple days, we've seen that President Trump has very successfully federalized and cracked down on Washington, D.C. D.C. is now safe. It's actually safe to be in D.C. President Trump himself actually teamed up with some of the D.C. police and the National Guard, and he was kind of helping them patrol the streets. So DC seems pretty safe. President Trump is out there helping the guys out. And so maybe he's going to be doing the same thing with some other sanctuary cities around the entire country. Now, beyond that, like I said, we have about a half hour until President Trump steps out in front of us in the Oval Office and lets us know really what is going on today. We have another story that has been unfolding over the last 2, maybe 3 hours. John Bolton, who is President Trump's former national security advisor between 2017 and 2019. President Trump got rid of this guy about halfway through his first presidential term. John Bolton, his home was raided by the FBI in a high-profile national security probe. So the former national security's home has now been raided by the FBI. FBI raids sound familiar? Remember what happened in August of 2022 to President Trump's house at Mar-a-Lago? So I guess, here's what we're going to do. For the next 20 or 30 minutes while we are waiting for President Trump to come out and let us know what is going on in the Oval Office, I think we should go ahead and break down this entire John Bolton raid situation. But first, of course, I do want to say, I need to say it obligatorily. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in today. I want to say thank you all very much for being here. This is a special early morning emergency broadcast. And so here we are. I got out of bed early for this one today. Now, I have to say, I've been seeing some comments. The live broadcasts that we've been doing every day at 4 p.m. Western, 7 p.m. Eastern, every day of the week, those broadcasts have been doing so well that I've been seeing some feedback from a lot of you guys saying, hey, listen, Matt, you got to do morning shows and evening shows. We love the evening shows so much. You need to start doing morning shows as well. All right. Okay, listen, hey, it's not something I'm opposed to, but I want to make sure that the desire is there. So if that's something that you would be interested in, no promises, I'm not making a promise yet, but if that is something that you are interested in, let me know. Go in the comment section down below and let your thoughts be heard. You guys, you need to convince me. You guys got to work me down a little bit. Convince me to do it, because I'm not sure if enough people want that. So, hey, let your voices be heard. Drop a comment. Let me know. I'm still deciding. I was talking to my wife about it. But so let's go ahead and move on with today's story. Let's talk about what's going on. And once again, guys, make sure to follow, subscribe. I appreciate it. Hit the like button. We are live on Rumble, Matt Morse TV, and we are live on YouTube, Matt Morse TV. Thank you very much. What would you call that? Morning Morse, evening Morse. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Morning Morse. And hey, everybody, welcome to the Evening Morse. Who knows? It's a curious idea. Let's talk about the news. Ladies and gentlemen, the FBI has raided Former National Security Advisor John Bolton's home about 3 hours ago. In a classified document probe, they said no one is above the law. We heard that for years, didn't we? Former FBI agents raided the Maryland home of Washington, D.C. office. Sorry, the home and Washington, D.C. office of President Trump's former National Security Advisor John Bolton Friday morning, just about 2.5 hours ago, in a high-profile national security probe involving classified documents. Federal agents went to Bolton's house in Bethesda, Maryland at 7 a.m. on the East Coast this morning in an investigation ordered by FBI Director Kash Patel. Kash Patel called the shot here. He called the order. FBI, open up. Kash Patel posted on Twitter today, on X rather, he said, no one is above the law. FBI agents are on the mission. Now, it's not just Kash Patel that's been chiming in here. The very best place for timely and accurate news is right here on X. Kash Patel, he posted as this raid was unfolding. He himself posted, no one is above the law. FBI agents are on a mission. Attorney General Pamela Bondi, she posted, America's safety is not negotiable. Justice will be pursued always. Thank you, Pam Bondi. And FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, he posted likewise, public corruption will not be tolerated. Okay, so I think we're getting a couple hints here. No one is above the law. America's safety is not negotiable, and public corruption will not be tolerated. America's safety is at risk, corrupt. We're talking Bolton. Let's keep reading this article. What did he have in his house that they felt like they have to bring the hammer? They got to crack down on this guy. Here are some photos from the raid. So this is outside Bolton's house. This is John Bolton's wife, Gretchen Smith Bolton, outside of their Bethesda, Maryland home. I was trying to make that photo bigger. Can we take a look? And no, we can't. Okay, excellent. Anyway, so this is their house here. Maybe I can zoom in. Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. That's their house. Nice house. FBI agents are walking inside the back entrance of Bolton's office on Friday morning in Washington, D.C. They're going in the office and they're bringing the suitcases. They're looking for documents here. So this is right outside his house. Beautiful house. Anyway, these are the FBI vehicles parked outside. Do we have any more to this article? Bolton has not been arrested and is not currently charged with any crimes, the official added. He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy, President Trump told reporters of Bolton on Friday morning. We're going to find out. President Trump said, listen, I'm trying to piece this together. My brain is still waking up. It's early in the morning. I apologize, folks. Listen, President Trump is saying Bolton might be a very unpatriotic guy. Dan Bongino says corruption will not be tolerated. Attorney General Pam Bondi says America's safety is not negotiable. No one is above the law. So to me, you know, my brain is running a million different directions right now. To me, the way I interpret this, it almost sounds like Bolton was leaking information to a foreign country. Do you guys kind of extract the same message here? To me, it sounds like Bolton was leaking classified, maybe even national security information to a foreign country or a foreign entity. And I don't know if that's the case, whether or not, but I'm trying to piece together all these little tidbits here. That sure is what this sounds like to me. He might be a very unpatriotic guy. Who's this guy? Trump is a national disgrace. Cool t-shirt, bro. The raid came at the behest of Patel, Kash Patel, with the president claiming that he had no advance knowledge of the operation. So President Trump didn't even know that this was going to happen. Patel did. Patel called the shot. President Trump said, I know nothing about it. I just saw this morning. I tell Attorney General Pam Bondi and I tell the group, I don't want to know, but you have to do what you have to do. I don't even want to know about it. He just said, listen, do your job. Listen, hey, if you got to do what you got to do, but hey, you don't need to run it by me first. I could know about it. I could be the one starting. And I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer, said Trump, but I feel that this way it's better if he's a little bit uninvolved. Let the DOJ and let the FBI do their job. That's what Trump is saying. He said, listen, I appointed you guys for a reason. Do your job. An investigation of Bolton was launched in 2020, but the Biden administration shut it down for, quote, political reasons. So the Trump admin in 2020 launched an investigation into Bolton in 2020 when he was still president. Biden got into office, shut down the investigation. Now, I'll tell you something. Listen, guys, just do not spam the chat. Okay, I don't care what you post. I really do not, but do not spam the chat. Do not spam. Now, of course, listen, let's do a little bit of a background retrospective on Bolton here. Okay, Bolton was President Trump's national security advisor from 2017 to 2019, at which point he was fired by President Trump. Bolton has always been a big-time neocon, war hawk, pushing for foreign intervention. Most notably, Bolton was pushing Trump during his first term to not just bomb, but also deploy American soldiers in Iran. He wanted an all-out war in Iran. Bolton was pushing Trump to invade Iran, similar to our presence in Iraq and Afghanistan. So Bolton was pushing for boots on the ground, Middle East, war on terror, regime change 2.0. We're doing it again. That's what he wanted in Iran, and he was pushing Trump to do that. Also, Bolton was pushing for a similar thing, little known fact, similar dynamic in North Korea and also Venezuela. Bolton was pushing Trump to deploy troops and bomb Iran, North Korea, and Venezuela. This guy is just a war hawk, bloodthirsty guy. So President Trump got rid of this guy. He fired him in the middle of 2019, and then this investigation into him was opened in the middle of 2020. Worth noting, Bolton also opposed every single one of President Trump's peace talks, like those that he carried out during his first term in the Middle East. And also, remember when President Trump met with Kim Jong-un? President Trump actually stepped foot into North Korean territory. Remember that? He crossed over the DMZ and he shook hands with Kim Jong-un. Bolton was big mad about that. Bolton said, listen, hey, we don't need peace. We don't need to break bread. We don't need to de-escalate. We need to escalate. We need to drop more bombs. We need to invade more countries. We don't want to de-escalate. We need to re-escalate. That's the Bolton approach here. So President Trump had enough of this guy. So Trump fired him in 2019. Then, as you might have noticed, Bolton has spent the last 6 years writing books, writing op-eds, working with the liberal media, the far-left radically progressive media, really just to smear President Trump's name. Bolton has been he's been on a 6-year-long media tour, effectively going on MSNBC, going on CNN. And we're going to actually play some of these clips today. I have some of them ready to go here. Bolton has spent the last 6 years of his life just melting down, seething, absolutely seething. He is pissed that Trump wasn't dealing with his warhawk neocon antics. Goodbye. And so now his house has been raided by the FBI. Maybe he was up to no good. Let's keep on going through the news here. However, take a look at this. Trump's first Justice Department initiated a criminal inquiry into Bolton's alleged disclosure of national security secrets in his 2020 book called The Room Where It Happened. Within a year of getting fired, Bolton released a book in 2020. Allegedly, in this book, I haven't read it, he disclosed national security secrets. However, officials tell the New York Post, that the current investigation is not limited to Bolton's book, but is part of a larger classified leaking probe that extended into the Biden administration. Bolton, what were you up to, buddy? Bozo. I'm going to call you Bozo. Bolton the Bozo. Trump, 79 years old, unsuccessfully fought to quash publication of The Room Where It Happened, Bolton's book, over its inclusion of national security secrets, saying Bolton broke a non-disclosure agreement signed as a condition of his employment. This old man, by the way, thank you very much. I appreciate that super chat in the YouTube chat. Thank you very much. Investigators suspect that former President Joe Biden's Justice Department shut down The Bolton probe may have been motivated by an ex-national security advisor's political opposition to Trump. So imagine that. Listen, when we talk about the deep state almost transcends, it supersedes the left-right divide, Republican, Democrat, progressive, conservative. The deep state doesn't care. The deep state supersedes. The deep state is like the puppeteer, right? Pulling the strings on a lot of people in both the left and the right, so to speak. And so it's no surprise at all that Joe Biden and the Democrats played coverage for Bolton. You'd say, but Bolton is supposed to be a Republican. They're not supposed to like him. Wait a minute. The Joe Biden administration, the Democrats are playing coverage for Bolton. He's supposed to be a Republican. What's up with that? Listen, deep state situation. Bolton has been at odds with his old boss since Trump fired him in September of 2019. Regularly appearing on CNN and criticizing the president's national security and foreign policy aims. And once again, why has Bolton been criticizing President Trump's national security and foreign policy agenda? It's because President Trump is not willy-nilly bombing every single country on the entire face of the planet. Okay, if it was up to Bolton, President Trump dropped a couple bombs a couple months ago on Iran, targeted strikes on their nuclear enrichment facilities. If it was up to Bolton, that entire country would be carpet bombed years ago, and we would have an American boots on the ground occupying force trying to, set up a puppet regime in Iran. That's Bolton's dream. Bolton would immediately deploy, if he was president, he would deploy 200,000 young American soldiers to try to, effectively conquer Iran and set up a new government. That's what Bolton wants. Bolton wants bombs being dropped on North Korea. Bolton wants bombs being dropped on Venezuela right now. And so we have a couple Bolton clips we're going to take a look at here in a second. By the way, folks, if you are tuning in today, I want to say real quick, any minute now, about 13 minutes from now, specifically, President Trump is going to be coming out in the Oval Office. He's going to give the nation a big national address. Now, what is he going to talk about? We're not sure. We're talking about this Bolton news because this stuff is breaking news as of about 2-3 hours ago. But really, the reason why we are live so early today, we're doing a special Morning Morse broadcast edition because Trump is stepping into the White House, the Oval Office, 15 minutes from now. He's going to have some big announcement. Okay, he has summoned everybody to the White House. Now, what about specifically? We actually don't know. A lot of people are speculating that President Trump is about to crack down on sanctuary cities, that he's going to announce maybe the federalization of sanctuary cities, or at least the deployment of the National Guard to sanctuary cities. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Would you be in favor of President Trump deploying the National Guard to sanctuary cities across the country? I'm saying, yeah. Listen, our country, everybody knows we have tens of millions of violent, illegal, alien, criminal, cartel, gang member, terrorist individuals all across the country. Okay, we have that problem. We have criminal street gangs, the Bloods, the Crips, the Latin Americans, Tren de Aragua, whatever. And they're all over the country. All of these problems are everywhere. Listen, you guys ever been to Memphis? You ever been to Atlanta? You ever been to, we're talking about Boston in yesterday's video. Listen, Los Angeles, of course, it's bad. Antifa over here in Portland and Seattle, all up and down the West Coast. Minneapolis has big problems. Listen, our country has been overtaken by either domestic gangs, like domestic hood thug gangs, big problem, or if it's not the domestic gangs, it's the foreign criminal cartel gangs. So I've been saying this for a while. Listen, what is the point of having a National Guard? They need to guard the nation. We should guard the nation. We got to root these problems out. So I'm sitting here. I'm fingers crossed. I'm hoping, I'm knocking on wood that we're talking about sanctuary cities and the National Guard today. But that's about 10 minutes from now. President Trump is going to come out. So until then, let's keep talking about Bolton because this really is breaking news. So I want to move on and show you here. Take a look at this. Like we said, listen, I'm going to show you the photos here. The FBI raided Steve Bolton's house earlier this morning. There they are knocking on the door, looking for classified national security documents. FBI raid. Now, CNN has been freaking out about this because they love Steve Bolton. MSNBC has been freaking out about this news this morning. Also, I want to take a look. I want to check in on the far left meltdown. CNN, what are we saying about this? We have our breaking news report. Take a look.
Hang on, we got some breaking news that I actually think both of you are going to want to hear. So let me get to Caitlin Polantz, who is in Washington with information about an FBI raid at the home of former Ambassador John Bolton, who was just with us yesterday.
Yes, he was on the show yesterday.
Okay, so Caitlin, tell us what's going on here.
Well, John, we have...
I apologize. Wait, did I say Steve or did they say Steve? Listen, I'm waking up. If I said Steve, I apologize. My bad.
Confirmed here at CNN that the FBI has conducted a court-authorized search of John Bolton's home. He was a top official for Donald Trump previously, someone who has been in many Republican administrations related to national security issues. This search, now court-authorized, is part of a national security investigation, and there have been FBI personnel that are seen near Bolton's home. CNN was able to reach him, and he said he was unaware of this FBI activity. He was looking into it further, so we don't have much more right now on what exactly this is. But may I remind you that there was quite an intense political and legal standoff between Donald Trump and John Bolton after he left the White House in the first Trump administration. There was a criminal inquiry around John Bolton's book, which was highly critical of Donald Trump and his handling of national security information at that time. That situation...
Ironically, as it would turn out in that book, it seems like not Steve, but John Bolton, might have leaked national security information in his own book.
There was a lawsuit where the Justice Department tried to prevent John Bolton from publishing that book or having it made public. And on top of that, John, there was a grand jury investigation that led to no charges against John Bolton at that time. This big question marks of what it is. Is there any possibility this could be looking at similar things? John Bolton has not been in government since he left that first Trump administration, and
he's been too busy spending time on CNN and MSNBC complaining about Trump. He's too busy to have a job.
Instead has been out there as a very critical public voice of Donald Trump. Lots of questions of what's going on here, but that indeed is pictures of the FBI personnel seen near John Bolton's home this morning.
That's right. And so once again, ladies and gentlemen, as this raid was unfolding and shortly thereafter, FBI Director Kash Patel came out. He said, no one is above the law. This is all this morning. No one is above the law. The FBI agents are on a mission. That's FBI Director Kash Patel. Attorney General Pamela Bondi came out and said, America's safety is not negotiable. Justice will be pursued always. We're talking about John Bolton. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino came out. What did he say? He said, public corruption will not be tolerated. So what are they kind of alluding to here? That Bolton is corrupt? That he is putting America's safety at risk? President Trump said maybe he's being traitorous or treasonous. Now, this is a clip coming out of CNN. The nerve of these people is astounding. After they illegally raided the president's home in Mar-a-Lago, MSNBC had a former FBI agent on to say this about today's raid on Bolton. Okay, let's see what MSNBC has to say about this raid. Like we said, the left-wing media is not happy about this.
My suspicion is this looks performative and political, and that is highly concerning. The FBI should not be used as a tool to go after political enemies.
Oh, really?
And if that's the direction we're moving, it should alarm all Americans, because the FBI has incredible capabilities and powers, and you would not want to see the FBI transformed into a special police, the type of thing we've seen in the past in Soviet bloc countries, or in dictatorships across the Middle East and other places. We don't want it to be a mukhabarat or something like that. So it's really concerning. Hopefully that's not the case.
Listen, do you think that people like this have any idea how incompetent and hypocritical and just stupid they sound? Keep in mind, of course, the Mar-a-Lago raid in August of 2022, they raided President Trump. I mean, they were digging through Melania Trump's underwear drawer. You want to talk about crossing a line? Okay, also, listen, President Trump, at that point, he was the former president. It is up to him. It's his discretion what is classified and what is declassified. This was all litigated. President Trump did nothing wrong. And the Biden administration, the Biden FBI weaponized the entire process. They did it anyway. They knew they shouldn't have done it. They did it anyway. And so now you have the president, Trump, is back in the White House, and he's saying, listen, Bolton, what's going on here? Absolute, complete, and total hypocrisy. Also, nobody talks about this anymore. Guys, can we just keep in mind the over 1,600 January 6th political prisoners? You want to talk about weaponizing the legal system or the justice system? 1,600 political prisoners were held for years. No bail, no phone calls. They didn't even have they never even had court dates. They had no visitation. These people were just quite literally political prisoners. And so nobody ever talks about that anymore. Thank God President Trump pardoned a lot of those guys, but absolute insanity, absolute hypocrisy. Okay. Benny Johnson, he chimed in here. He got word from an FBI official. I want to share this with you guys. FBI official just told me that John Bolton raid is about Bolton's serial theft and publication of classified information that has gone on for years. The FBI official said, it is widely known that Bolton mishandled and took classified information for use in his 2020 book after he failed to get approval from the National Security Council for the publication of what they determined to be highly classified information. This raid of Bolton's residence comes after years of investigation into this potentially criminal disclosure, which started in 2020 before being put on pause for political reasons. Well, what happened between 2020 and 2025? That's right. President Trump was kicked out of the White House. Not by legitimate means, by the way. We all know that this situation was entirely bogus and rigged. But anyway, Trump was out, Biden was in, and they shut it down. They played coverage for their guy, for their deep state guy. The Trump administration is committed to restoring integrity to the Justice Department and ending the weaponization of our government. Our investigation will follow the evidence and ensure accountability. So it does seem like perhaps this is pretty much in relation to his book, Bolton's book, John Bolton's book, in which he released a lot of this classified information that he should not have released. President Trump weighed in on some of this just earlier this morning. Right now, folks, we are waiting for President Trump. He's going to be stepping out in the Oval Office any minute. Take a look.
When I hired him, he served a good purpose because, as you know, he was one of the people that forced Bush to do the ridiculous bombings in the Middle East. Bolton, he wants to always kill people, and he's very bad at what he does, but he worked out great for me because every time he doesn't talk, he's like a very quiet person, except on television. If he could say something bad about Trump, he'll always do that, but he really doesn't talk, he's quiet. And I'd walk into a room with him with a foreign country, and the foreign country would give me everything because they said, oh no, they're going to get blown up because John Bolton's there. He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. I mean, we're going to find out. I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. They did a raid.
Do you expect the DOJ to brief you on this?
Yeah, they'll brief me, probably today sometime.
And the foreign minister.
I tell Pam and I tell the group, I don't want to know, but just you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it. It's not necessary. I could know about it. I could be the one starting it. I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer, but I feel that it's better this way.
There you have it. So like we said a moment ago in that article we were reading, Trump did not even know about this raid taking place. The FBI did this on their own. The DOJ did this on their own. This was 3 years ago when Mar-a-Lago was raided. Ladies and gentlemen, today, this is our first clip of John Bolton I want to play for you guys. But first, real quick, folks, before we play this, before I give you some further context here, some background into Bolton and the type of stuff he's been saying, this is a clip from 3 years ago. I do need to open up YouTube real quick. I need to see if I want to see here if the official White House page has gone live yet, because President Trump is going to be coming out and speaking to the public here soon. So Trump is scheduled to talk to all of us 1 minute from now. Oftentimes, they're a little bit behind schedule. So we're going to keep an eye on this broadcast. This is a beautiful sunny day in Washington, D.C. So we're going to keep an eye on this. And until President Trump comes out, let's keep talking about this Bolton situation. Take a look. This is Bolton 3 years ago. We'll see what he had to say right after Mar-a-Lago got raided.
any given moment. But I don't think he cared about the classification system. I don't think he appreciated the sensitivity of this information, and he didn't appreciate the sensitivity of how it was often acquired, the so-called sources and methods. So this had been briefed to him before I arrived. It was repeated frequently. I think it simply had no impact on him whatever.
There's a couple of different ways that people think about this, and people who are not friendly to the president who think about what's happened here. And one of them is, Donald Trump, master thief, criminal, running some kind of elaborate conspiracy to bring things out of the White House and keep them secret for potentially for political or financial gain. There are other people who attitude is Trump is chaotic. He's careless. He's not that smart. He took these things almost by mistake, and now he's basically stamping his feet and saying they're mine. I don't want to give them up. Give me a sense of where you think the truth lies with respect to Trump's intelligence, carelessness, and the degree to which he might have brought motive to bear on taking these documents out of the White House and keeping them for this long at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, it's very hard to speculate on motive other than that he liked cool things. He saw things so he wanted to take them, and he was pretty much able to take them, and not just on classified information matters, on all kinds of things that crossed his desk. Some days he liked to eat a lot of French fries. Some days he took classified documents. He wanted them. Why did he want them? Because he could get them.
Now, by the way, I want to share something with you guys that I haven't seen anybody in the media talking about. And this might be true, it might not be, but if you look at the timeline, it makes a lot of sense. What seems to be the case is that a lot of these classified documents that President Trump took with him after leaving the White House, by the way, this has all been litigated. As it would turn out, President Trump did nothing wrong. This is a 3-year-old clip. Flash forward back to today, modern day. This has all run through the legal system. This has all been litigated. President Trump did nothing wrong. As the president, he has a complete and total discretion to classify or reclassify whatever he wants. President Trump literally did nothing wrong here. Now, the question, however, remains, why did President Trump take all these documents after leaving the White House? He's no longer president. Why did he bring this stuff with him to Mar-a-Lago? Why did President, because he did, why did President Trump have boxes of documents that he took with him to Mar-a-Lago? Well, one of the leading theories, and if you look at the timeline, this makes sense. We've talked about this here on my show a couple days ago, is that President Trump kept boxes of files that he thought might pertain to the Obamagate Russia collusion scandal. President Trump, when he left the White House, he knew what they did, but he didn't have all of the bullet points connected. He hadn't connected all the dots. He didn't have the rock solid case. He knew, because he knew he did not collude with Russia. He knew the entire story was fabricated by the Obama admin and the Steele dossier and Hillary Clinton. So he knew deep down what they had done, but he didn't have the robust case built out. And so what he did, he said, listen, any of these documents that might even tangentially relate to what they did, I'm going to bring them with me. I'm going to bring them with me. I'm going to keep them safe in Mar-a-Lago where I can keep an eye on them, because if I don't, they will destroy them. They will burn them. They will tear apart the files. So flash forward. Now it's August 2022. What happens? Biden is in office, and Biden instructs the FBI to raid Mar-a-Lago. They're looking for the documents. Why do you think Biden instructed his FBI to raid Mar-a-Lago to try to get these documents back? It's because they were worried that President Trump had the smoking gun. They were worried that Trump brought with him the proof and the evidence of what the Obama administration had done regarding the fake Russia collusion narrative. So President Trump was very forward thinking here. He said, listen, I haven't pieced all this together yet, but at some point I want to be able to figure all this out. I'm going to bring the documents with me. And that's why the Biden admin tried so hard to get the documents back. Now, of course, we don't know this is absolutely what happened, but you look at the timeline, you look at all the circumstantial stuff here, and it's like, yeah, this seems to be what happened. This seems to be the case here. And then you have Bolton up here who's saying, well, I don't know, President Trump is just an idiot. He's just a stupid person that likes to have cool things. I don't know, he's just like a stupid person and he likes to collect cool things. There's no other conceivable reason why he would bring these classified documents with him. Dude, has it occurred to you that actually you are the stupid person, Bolton? John Bolton, maybe you, in fact, are the stupid person. MSNBC is having a meltdown right now. Right now, folks, we are waiting for Donald Trump to come out and give his Oval Office address today. He's going to be stepping out any minute now. Take a look at this. MSNBC is freaking out about this.
He thought that the president's summit in Alaska with Vladimir Putin was going to be a disaster. In fact, even before the summit occurred, he said that Trump had handed Putin a win. In fact, Trump went to social media to criticize Bolton for those comments. And now, a few days later, we have this. We don't know there's a link, but we certainly know this is a president who has promised retribution.
Yeah, this is chilling. It really is.
Chilling.
Listen, John Bolton and I disagreed on many things back in the days when I was serving in public office, but I don't think very many people that know John Bolton would argue that his beliefs were intellectually sound. You could disagree with him, and that he gave a lot to this country in terms of time and his intellect and his work ethic. And clearly this is retribution.
And clearly this is retribution. I just want to make sure, hello, did my internet go out, or are we still here? I'm going to reload the page here. Okay, I got worried. I think the stream is still live. I was worried I was having internet problems. I think the page just froze here for a second. We'll keep on playing this now. Thank you.
Not only tarnishes the FBI, but it tarnishes our country. I mean, this is what they do in countries where they don't have rule of law. This is what happens when despots take over, like Putin. And John Bolton has always been critical of how, I mean, he about lost it when Trump wanted to invite the Taliban to Camp David. It's chilling. Now, do I think they're ever going to have evidence to convict this man of anything in a court of law with a jury? No, they won't. But they can make him miserable.
Daily reminder, these people hate you. They think you are stupid. They think you are an idiot. They think that you have the memory of a damn goldfish. These people hate you. They hate the Constitution. They hate the country. They will lie to you. They will deceive to you. If you and your family were on fire, they wouldn't even piss on you to put the fire out. They hate you. The disdain that people like this have for you is just unbelievable. This is what despots do. Listen, do you really expect us to believe, or do you expect us to forget the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago and the J6 prisoners and all of the conservative blacklisting and shadow banning and deplatforming? Give me a 1 in the chat. We are live on both Rumble and YouTube. If at some point during the Biden era you were banned or blacklisted or kicked off of some website because you had the audacity to have conservative traditionalist American beliefs, who here was banned or deplatformed at some point because these people were in control of the country? They hate you. They hate us. This is one of the reasons why we cannot let these people get back in power. We cannot. The hatred they have for you in this country is just unfathomable. It really is. Listen, this is a problem that we have over here on the conservative side of the aisle. We really are generally good-natured, kind-hearted, empathetic people. Conservative Americans really are. We have deep-rooted values and principles. So because we are generally speaking good, kind, charitable, wholesome people, it can be hard for us to really imagine the degree to which the radical progressives are full of hate, because we don't share that level of hatred. It's hard. It can be hard to get in that mindset and really fathom or understand just how much hate they have for you, for your family, for the working class Americans, for blue collar Americans, for the country at whole, for our rule of law. It is nothing but hate and disdain. And you'll notice every single thing that they do is targeted at flipping this country upside down. Every single thing that they do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, President Trump, if you are tuning in, this is the big event of the day. This is why we are all here. This is why I got out of bed so early this morning between you and me. President Trump is going to be giving a special Oval Office address. This was scheduled actually to take place 10 minutes ago. So listen, we are on Trump time. Trump time operates in curious ways sometimes. But any minute now, we're gonna cut inside the Oval Office, and Trump is going to give some type of address, some type of national announcement. Now, to be very clear, we actually don't know what this announcement is. We have no hint or clue. Oftentimes, the Trump administration does not tell us what this type of stuff is going to be about. So really, all we can do is speculate. One of the leading theories about what we're going to be talking about today, what Trump is going to be talking about today, once he comes out here, is that we're going to be talking about cracking down on sanctuary cities. We need to find a new term. Sanctuary. Listen, this is something the left does, talking about the left and their hatred of this country. They will always try to take something terrible and then give it a new beautiful term. What do you hate sanctuary? Do you hate sanctuary cities? Because it sounds so nice. It sounds so nice and beautiful. It's a sanctuary city. No, really, it's a hell on earth city. Really, it's a city. It's a beautiful American city that they have taken and turned into a hell on earth hellscape, doomsday apocalypse type of scenario. Criminal city, aiding and abetting illegal alien invaders, something like that. Illegal alien city. Yeah. Excuse me. And so maybe this, like I said, the leading theory here is that today President Trump is going to come out in the Oval Office and give an address about how he's going to be maybe even deploying the National Guard to sanctuary cities across the country. Over the last 10 days or so, Trump has been using the National Guard, FBI, DHS, to crack down on the streets of Washington, D.C. And D.C. has had a complete and total turnaround in the last week and a half. Now it's seems to be functioning, seems to be orderly. Violent crime has pretty much all but disappeared. Carjackings, muggings, stabbings, shootings, gang violence, all of this stuff seems to be gone now. So it's sort of a weird reminder that crime and criminal behavior, it really is an option. This isn't just how things are. Things don't have to be dangerous and violent. We don't have to have homeless cities, homeless tents, and people taking fentanyl on the side of the road and have gang shootouts. It's an option. We have a choice. Okay, there's a saying that I like. It's called, you get what you tolerate. We have tolerated this type of delinquent behavior across the country for too long, and because we have tolerated it, we have gotten it. If you tolerate this type of behavior, then the rate at which the behavior occurs, it increases. And this is a sort of a rot that is spread across the entire country. As it would turn out, we actually have an option. We can do something about it. We can stop it. Now, I want to take a look here. We have some super chats. I'm a little bit late to these ones. Isaac H, he says, fuel money for the move. We are moving, my family and I, in I don't know, about 7 days, 8 days, something like that. I appreciate that. We are moving to the beautiful area of North Idaho. Right now, we are on the West Coast in Western Washington. So we're making a big move. It's a 6-hour move. I appreciate that. Greener pastures. Thank you very much, Isaac. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you for tuning in. This is Pastor Mike. Thank you. I appreciate that. Pastor Mike says, was trying to spreaders the good word and was shut down because the left did not want that message spread on the platform. It was a sad time. You remember, Pastor Mike, I know you remember, during the COVID eras, the draconian, tyrannical COVID era, they were shutting down churches. Guess what? Hey, listen, religious Americans, you don't get to celebrate your faith. You don't get to, congregate and go to church on a Sunday because guess what? Joe Biden's in office now, COVID lockdown. Keep it at home. They were doing that. Nuts. Pastor Mike, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And we have Pepsi. He says, seeing a lot about Venezuela supporting USA and then seeing militia saying they have 4.5 million to fight the USA. There's this whole kind of related, this whole Reconquista. I saw somebody on Twitter talking about this yesterday. You see, listen, it's not every Hispanic American or Hispanic or Latin American person. It's not everybody, but you do have the small, maybe minority group. They feel like, especially the Southwest of the USA, Southern California, New Mexico, Texas, of course, Arizona, they feel like that is rightfully theirs. They want to carry out the Reconquista. They're going to retake the land for Mexico. And I say, listen, listen. They better be careful, otherwise we're going to be forced to finish what President James K. Polk started. Remember President Polk? Listen, they had better hope. They're trying to do Reconquista. I say good luck, because they might just reawake the spirit of President Polk. Be careful. Watch out. Okay, as you guys might remember, President Polk was the president during our decisive victory in the Mexican-American War. And actually, as a part of their surrender, it was their surrender agreement. We dominated them. We conquered the Mexican army, the military, so thoroughly that as a part of their surrender, they gave us this territory. They said, please leave us alone. Please stop. We surrender. You can have New Mexico, Arizona, Southern California. Please, it's yours. Just let us be. And we did. And we did. All right, deal. All right. Reconquista. Listen, they better watch out. Okay, hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We had another super chat here. It said, this is from Melkor. Good luck with your move to Potato Land from Kanakistan. Hey, you know, we're going to be neighbors here. I'm going to be up in North Idaho. I'm going to be close to you guys, just right up by the border. Thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to, folks, bear with me here for 1 second. I'm going to see if I can find maybe a different angle. I'm sorry, guys. I'm an American history buff. President Polk is maybe, he's in my top 3 Polk. Of course, you got to like President Trump. Jackson, Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson, man, he really was the best president of all time. Of course, you got to give a shout out to George Washington. Of course, you know, there's really too many good presidents. There's too many good presidents to go through. You know, I've seen some people say that George Washington was overrated. He's an overrated president. Really, what did he do anyway? Listen, George Washington, he really was something else. He is appropriately rated. He is properly rated. He really was the GOAT, as the kids say. The GOAT means the greatest of all time. He was pretty good. He was one of the good ones. Now, I'm looking for another angle here. You know what, folks? I think really this is the best point of view that we have. Fox News here, they are waiting just like we are. Take a look at that. Fox News waiting for the event to begin. We have the Associate Press right here. They are waiting. And ladies and gentlemen, so are we. Likewise, we are waiting also. So this event today was scheduled for 17 minutes ago, noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. But, you know, sometimes things fall a little bit behind schedule. That's okay. We're hanging out. I appreciate everybody here tuning in, guys. Right now, we are live both on Rumble and we are live on YouTube as well. We have around the world 7,500 people tuning in. Everybody, thank you very much. If you are new, please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to like today's broadcast. We're Matt Morse TV on Rumble, Matt Morse TV on YouTube. Can I ask you all a question? I do have a question for you guys today. Have you guys been enjoying the new shorts I've been making? You know, for a while now, we've been doing daily broadcasts and a daily, 8, 9, 10 minute long video. That's the bread and butter here on this channel. But recently, the last couple days, I've been making these YouTube shorts and I'm posting them on TikTok and Instagram and on Facebook now. And so have you guys been enjoying those? Yeah, you like those? Okay, good. I'm going to keep on making those. I figure it's kind of the trifecta. You've got the long form content, the live broadcasts like we're doing now, the medium form content, 8, 9, 10 minutes long, and then the super short form content. So whatever you like, long, short, medium, we're doing it all. That's kind of the objective here going forward. Whatever your preference is, we'll have something for you. And I'll tell you what, I have to say, guys, this entire channel, everything I do here, this is a one-man operation. I don't have a producer. I don't have an editor. All I have is a wife who I love and 2 beautiful kids and a puppy in the house. That's it. But all the work here on the channel, all the news coverage I'm doing myself. You know, a lot of these other people out here, they've got multi-million-dollar studios, broadcasting teams, editors. They've got production guys. They've got script writers. Here you go. Here's what you're going to be saying today. I'm figuring it out. I'm doing it all on myself. It's all one-man operation. So I really do have to say thank you all very much for tuning in. It does mean a lot. It means a lot. I appreciate the support. Really, really, AI. Listen, some people say, hey, are you AI? I'm not AI. Sometimes I wish I was, though. I might be a little bit more intelligent if I was. I am HI. I'm human intelligence. It can be a little bit flawed some days. Remember that time I called John Bolton Steve Bolton? There you go. Big problem. I'm doing the best I can. So anyway, I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot, everybody. I see this here. This is a super chat over here on YouTube. Excuse me. This is from Isaac H. And he says, I like the shorts, 10-minute videos, but the live stream is where your channel really shines. Isaac H. I appreciate that. You know, for the first, I don't know, gosh, 7 months of doing political coverage over here on YouTube, there were no live streams. I wasn't doing live streams. Now we are. And now, you know, I'm getting a lot of positive feedback. And in fact, we were talking about a half hour ago. I've had so much positive feedback about these live broadcasts. And, you know, most days, the schedule is 4 p.m. Western, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's when we do the live broadcasts. Of course, we have special events like today where we go live early, something is happening. But I've been getting pushback, well, not pushback, feedback. I've been having people ask me to do two daily broadcasts, a morning show and an evening show. So this is something I'm thinking about also right now, because it seems like you guys are enjoying the live news broadcasts, and I'm very fortunate for that. I'm considering, I'm not sure, no promises yet, but I'm definitely thinking about it, maybe doing a morning show, and then later on in the day, an evening show. So I'm not sure, you know, I got to figure out the real life schedule. I do have a real life. I do have stuff I need to do in real life. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to schedule that out. But it could be done. In theory, it could work. So I'm thinking about it. 2 shows, 2 daily shows. Listen, have you guys read, it's a children's book. It's called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. What happens if you give a mouse a cookie? Then the mouse is going to ask for a cup of milk. And then the mouse is going to say, hey, I need to have a straw. Hey, and then I want a napkin. And then, hey, I want another cookie. And then I want a da-da-da-da-da. And so here's my concern. If I give you guys one stream, one daily broadcast, then you're asking for 2. And then if I give you 2 broadcasts every day, then you're going to say, hey, listen, I want to have 3. Before I know it, you guys are going to have me doing broadcasts 24 hours a day. Hey, you need to do a 24-hour daily show. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit too much. You got to go live at midnight. You got to wake up. It's time to go live at midnight. But no, listen. Okay, jokes aside, I think that 2 broadcasts a day or something maybe I can do. Maybe we can do this. If we were to do it, it would be maybe 2 or 3 weeks from now before we would start that, because we are moving here pretty soon. I need to get moved and get settled in. But you know, okay, look into the future. This is something maybe we can do. Maybe we can do it. It's possible. And right now, listen, folks, we are 22 minutes behind schedule. We are waiting. Presumably, what is going on right now inside of the White House? President Trump is getting ready in the Oval Office. Once again, guys, this is a big mystery variable. What is President Trump going to be talking about today in the Oval Office? Sometimes, most of the time, in fact, when he does something like this, we kind of have a sneaking suspicion what he's going to be talking about. We have some leak or something, some official, statement. Today, nothing. Radio silence. They could be talking about the John Bolton house raid. I don't think so, though, because listen, this meeting was planned in the White House. They announced this White House meeting, this announcement yesterday afternoon. We've known about this for about a day. The FBI raid on John Bolton's house was carried out this morning. And keep in mind, President Trump said he had no idea about the raid. He did not know that John Bolton's house was going to be raided. So I don't think these two things are related. I don't think so. One of the leading, see, our camera feed here is a little bit weird. What's going on with our camera? Hey, that's on them. That's not on us. Good luck. These are the weirdest trees I've ever seen. Oh, we're back. Okay. Anyway, like I said, one of the leading suspicions or rumors about this meeting today, this Oval Office address is what we can call it, is that he's going to be talking about sending the National Guard into these sanctuary cities, some of the worst sanctuary cities in the country, most violent, crime-ridden hellholes. Trump might have said, you know what, enough is enough. We're going to send the National Guard in. And a lot of people, myself included, have been saying, is it possible that what he's been doing in D.C. is sort of just like a practice run? Is it possible that what Trump has been doing in D.C. for the last week and a half, 10, 11 days, he's kind of building out the formula? hey, if we want to send in the National Guard, what is the best way to do it? What is the proper way to do it, right? How can we carry out these operations in the most effective way possible? So what we've seen in DC over the last week and a half, this might have been kind of the testing ground. They got the formula, the order of operations figured out here, and now they're going to expand this approach to all these other sanctuary cities across the entire country. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Now, here's what I want to know. Top 10 most crime-ridden and violent cities in the USA. I'm going to put together a list here. Maybe some of the prime targets, if that really is the route that we're going here today. I'm putting together a list. Guess what? Memphis, Tennessee is the most violent city in the country. Memphis, Tennessee, number 2. You know, I'll go ahead. I'll bring up the list. You guys have a visual here. Take a look at this. You're not going to believe it. Okay. Number 1, Memphis, Tennessee. St. Louis, Missouri. Number 3, Detroit, Michigan. Number 4, Baltimore, Maryland. Number 6, Little Rock, Arkansas. These are violent crime stats. Number 7, Kansas City, Missouri. Number 8, Birmingham, Alabama. Number 9, Cleveland, Ohio. Number 10, Camden, New Jersey. There you go. And this is based off of FBI stats 2024. And we're talking violent crime specifically. You know, there's all different types of crime, carjackings and muggings. This is violent crime. Key issues, economic disparities and gang activity. Well, listen, folks. Okay. I think every single American with half a brain knows what's going on here. What is going on in Memphis, St. Louis, Detroit? Come on. Baltimore, Kansas City, Little Rock. What is going on here? This is a urban youth gang violence problem. This is a gang violence issue. In fact, here, guys, this is going to blow your mind. Feel free to fact check me on this. Everybody talks about the gun crime. Oh my God, there's so much gun crime and gun violence in America. It's terrible. We got to get rid of the guns. If you subtract out all of the urban youth gang violent related gun crime, our rate of gun crime in this country is actually about the same as various European countries, where guns aren't even legal, by the way. Fun fact of the day. If you subtract out all of the inner city urban youth gang violence that we have in this country, take that out of the stat, remove that from the equation, American gun violence is actually just about the same as numerous European countries where they don't even have guns. Think about it. This is actually true. You can find information on this. So listen, this whole gang violence, urban youth, street shooting type of dynamic we have here, this is a big problem. Big problem. And folks, any minute, President Trump is coming on out. Now, we have some super chats over here on YouTube I want to take a look at. We're live on both YouTube and Rumble right now. Matt Morris TV. Take a look. I'm going to do this one I don't want that to drop off. Sarah Wright with the $5. Thank you. She says, we all want to see Argos. Call those cities knucklehead cities. All right. Okay. While we are waiting, we do have a minute here, I hope. I will get the dog. I will show you folks Argos, our little beautiful German Shepherd puppy. I'll bring him in here. In just a minute. Let me take a look at this super chat from Isaac H. He says, lol, 1/3 of your live stream is waiting on President Trump, listening to you talk about other news, your dog, or trying to figure out communists. We have a very vibrant community. It's undeniable. We're sometimes all over the place. Listen, hey, we got to kill the time. We're waiting for President Trump. Come on out, President Trump. But by the way, thank you. If you guys want, I will go grab the puppy. I'll pull up the puppy. Okay. I'll bring him out. Give me one moment here. Okay. Okay. Now, I will tell you what, for those of you that have seen Little Argos before. Hey, good boy. Hey, it's okay. Calm down. Yeah. For those of you that have seen Argos before, he's getting a little bit bigger now. He's grown a lot. He's blowing up by the day. We're feeding him all types of good food. Raw eggs are his favorite. He's becoming very well trained too. He's sitting, he's staying, he's down, he's up, he's not, you can tell he's not even really nibbling anymore. He does a lot of licking, but not a lot of nibbling. He's getting along with the kids very well. What a good boy. What a good boy. Mwah! Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to send him back out. We're going to get back to trying to cover the news and figure out what is going on here today, okay? This is little Argos. Ugh. Okay, come on, buddy. Ugh. Okay. All right. We have been going on dog walks and hiking and going all over the place. He's turning out to be a very good little puppy. Okay. And now I have dog hair all over my microphone. Now, somebody said something that's a little bit curious here. I want to take a look at something here. We are waiting for President Trump to come on out. I want to pull up the official White House schedule. We actually have a schedule here that they themselves update. So take a look at this. Yeah, no, take a look. 12 p.m. That is that's Eastern time, by the way. Eastern time. The president makes an announcement. Oval Office. Who's invited? The White House press pool, which means we're all going to be watching this live. So right now we are about 31 minutes behind schedule. Well, we got a pop-up ad. Anyway, we are 31 minutes behind schedule, but you know what? That's okay. We are living on Trump time. We're living in Trump world. We're living in Trump country, so you can't really complain too much. That's the way it goes. I will, real quick, I'm going to take a look around Twitter and see if there are any other updates anywhere randomly that we are missing right now. Yeah, that is my AI dog. Matt Morris, are you AI? Yeah, that's my AI dog. And here's my AI family. This is my AI wife and my AI daughter. Everything is AI. I see a super chat here in YouTube. This is from Michael Robbins. He says, love your content and love your new Poochie. Argos is awesome. Wow, he is growing. He's just massive. He's a Goliath. Keep up the awesome live streams. Can't wait to hear about your Idaho move adventures. Cheers, Michael. Michael, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm happy you enjoy the shows. I'm happy you're tuning in. Listen, it's just an exciting time to be an American. Everybody. It really is. Very positive, good, amazing things are happening very quickly. This country is getting put back on track at light speed. Now, how the heck do I even see this? That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Like I said, I'm looking around Twitter here. I'm looking for some updates. Okay, here's one update coming out of Washington, D.C. I see this. We were sitting here waiting for President Trump to come out. This is hot off the press. Take a look at this one here, folks. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has ordered airmen and soldiers within the National Guard who are currently patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C. to be armed beginning Friday. That's today. With roughly 2,000 troops now deployed to the city from several Republican-led states and the District of Columbia. No details or reason for this change was given by the Pentagon. So the National Guard, they're going to be armed. So far, they have not been armed. Now they will be armed. It makes you wonder. I wonder if they have been having some serious issues with people fighting back gang violence. You guys know there's a pretty aggressive, dangerous, violent hood on the southeast side of Washington, D.C., the hood. A lot of gangbangers, and so maybe this is a problem. Maybe they're saying, hey, listen, we need to be able to protect ourselves. Maybe. Now I'm taking a look here. Now this is hot off the press 5 minutes ago. I'm going to go back and take a look at this. 5 minutes ago, this is relating back to the raid, to the FBI raid on John Bolton's house we were talking about earlier. They have been inside of his house for 6 hours. They are currently, the FBI, we are entering hour number 6 of the raid on John Bolton's house, and they are currently sifting through evidence as we speak. 6 hours. Dude, how much did this guy have inside of his house? How many files and documents, classified, did this guy have in his house? That's almost unbelievable. Almost unbelievable. Okay, folks, I actually do have an update here from 15 minutes ago. It says President Trump's Oval Office announcement is being delayed. Per the press pool, he is still right now at the Kennedy Center. Now, how long is he going to be delayed? How long is this delayed? I'm not sure. We do not know. I would guess not that long. Keep in mind, guys, we are already 36 minutes overtime. So how long is the delay? We don't know. But I guess there is a delay. Delayed. Seems to be the case. Well, listen, hey, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here. This is a big deal. This announcement seems like it's going to be a big deal. So we're going to keep on tuning in and keeping tabs on this. We're not going anywhere. It could be a 20-minute delay. It could be a 1 hour long delay. However, like I said, we are already 36 minutes overtime. So we've already eaten into this delay a little bit. So, you know, it can't be that much longer. Can't be. You know what I'm going to tell you guys something very weird that has been going on for the last 36 hours. Somebody, you know what? Hey, maybe you're tuning in. Maybe you are tuning in right now. Somebody has been botting my Twitter followers, and somebody has been botting the viewership on my live streams. Yesterday's live broadcast. Right now, I don't think it's happening. I don't think we have any bot viewers today. Yesterday, who was here for yesterday's evening broadcast? We had like 30,000 viewers. No, we didn't. Somebody was botting the viewership yesterday, and somebody was also botting my Twitter followers yesterday. Why? Don't do that. I do not like that. I don't know. Maybe someone thinks that they're helping, or that is helping me or something. Maybe they're trying to be supportive. I'm not exactly sure. But listen, do not do that. If that's you, you don't need to do that. Maybe I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't need to do that. I appreciate it. It was me. We'll say, listen, knock it off. You don't need to do that. Oh, I see somebody in the Rumble chat here says that Tim Pool was getting botted also. Who knows? Maybe something is going on. Maybe something weird is going on. There's somebody out here botting people's streams. But also, listen, like I said, it was yesterday, somebody botted about 2,500 followers on Twitter. For me, I was like, what is going on? And you can tell that the followers are not real. They're very obviously bots. Very obviously not real. So I don't know, folks. You know what I am going to do while we are waiting here? Do I have a little? Yeah, perfect. Okay. I'm going to put a notice up at the top of the screen. Okay. Trump's, I'm going to say soon. Trump's Oval Office address. Okay. And I'm going to have that right up there so people know what we are waiting for. What is the deal? What is going on? Excuse me. Excuse me. You know, there's some news that broke earlier today, and I don't want to talk about this too much with you guys on the live broadcast because, frankly, this is going to be my video this afternoon. I'm making a video about this, I think. Canada has now completely called off all of their reciprocal tariffs on the United States of America. They've gotten rid of all of them. Canada has now completely and totally caved. Nothing. They shut it down. Really just astounding. And so this is just par for the course. I'm going to make a video about this, really deep diving this entire situation, I think, later. But that was some breaking news earlier today also. Now, real quick, I do want to say, listen, hey folks, if you are tuning in, do me a favor and drop a follow. Please make sure to subscribe. Please make sure to like today's broadcast. I appreciate that. Thank you all very much for tuning in, guys. We are live, Matt Morse TV on Rumble and Matt Morse TV on YouTube. Right now, President Trump is set to come out and talk to us. He's going to make some big, massive announcement in the Oval Office today. Soon. He's about 40 minutes late. 40 minutes late, imagine that. So we got to see what's going on. Any minute now, he'll come out. It seems like he is a little bit behind schedule. This is getting a little bit delayed. We're not sure. But you know, when they say the word delay, it could be 10 minutes. It could be a half hour. Who knows? Now, I want to show you some pictures here. These are pictures coming out of Washington, D.C. just last night. President Trump was on the streets of D.C. The patriotic men and women of DHS have been deployed to help clean up the streets of our nation's capital. Thanks in part to their hard work and bravery, there have been 0 murders in the last week in Washington, D.C. Now, I have to say this. I see this. You are kind of lame, dude. I remember when you had a stream for a tsunami wave that never happened. Big L. Are you faulting me for the tsunami not being bigger? Do you think that I have the powers of Poseidon? Do you think that I have the unilateral authority to command the oceans? Is it my fault that there wasn't a massive tsunami? Is it my okay, anyway. Some people are insane. Some people are crazy in the live chat. Okay, listen. In just days, carjackings are down 83%. Robberies are down 52%. And violent crime is down 40%. This is in Washington, D.C. Just how DHS quickly executed on POTUS's Trump's order to secure the border. We are moving at warp speed to secure the streets of Washington, D.C. alongside our federal law enforcement agents. Okay, and so this is Trump last night in Washington, D.C. They're on the block. They're talking to everybody. They're shaking hands with the law enforcement officers. You know, they did blur these guys' faces out. I feel like this is not really that good of a job, though. You could probably still figure out who these people are. I don't know, not that it matters a whole lot, but if you're going to blur it, you got to blur it. Oh, pizza party. Great. Washington, D.C. on the block pizza party. And so once again, the reason why we're kind of sitting here talking about Washington, D.C. right now is because one of the leading theories here is that President Trump's announcement today, his Oval Office announcement, is going to be directly relating to sanctuary cities, and he might be even deploying the National Guard and maybe federal authorities. We've seen FBI, DHS, ICE. We might see a total crackdown, total deployment onto the streets of these belligerent, anti-American, really frankly, traitorous sanctuary cities. We've seen the mayors, Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles, Mayor Michelle Wu of Boston City, really sanctuary city mayors all over the country that have proven to be totally belligerent. They're saying, hey, listen, I know the American people elected President Trump. I know that we have democratically agreed upon federal immigration law. I understand we have rules and laws in this country and that the American people have given their mandate to President Trump to clean up the country. But I'm just not going to do that. I'm just actually not going to work with you to do that. In fact, the opposite. Not only am I not going to work with you, President Trump, to clean our streets of illegal aliens and violent gangbanging criminals, instead, I'm going to aid and abet them. Instead, I'm going to harbor them. In fact, it's even worse than that. I'm going to explicitly tell my local police department to not work with the federal authorities. I'm going to instruct the local Los Angeles PD, the Boston City PD, Portland, Seattle, all over the place. I'm going to instruct them not to work with or communicate with ICE or DHS. Total shutdown. So I think we are at a point where we need to get these sanctuary cities and the sanctuary city mayors in line. We have tolerated this behavior for too long. Sanctuary cities really started popping up in the late 60s, and they have just become more brazen, increasingly belligerent and increasingly brazen as time has gone on. And now it's so funny because they always call President Trump a dictator. Listen, these sanctuary city mayors, they might as well be little micro dictators. They think they're calling the shots. No, listen, we are a union. We are a republic. We have laws. We have legislation that we pass through a democratically elected House and Senate. We have a democratically elected president. We just gave him a massive mandate, 8 months ago in November. And listen, we got to crack down on this anti-American behavior, frankly. Oh, here, listen. Wow, we have something. I'm doubling back to John Bolton here real quick. John Bolton's neighbor, John Bolton's neighbor is allegedly pissed off that President Trump is doing what he's doing. Take a look at this.
Is all of this retribution and vengeance and using the DOJ and the FBI and the power of government to go after anybody who disagrees with him is frightening. And it's only going to get worse if we don't do something to make it stop. And it scares the crap out of me.
President Trump is going after everybody that disagrees with him. Listen, 45% of the country, 40% of the country disagrees with Trump. You know, listen, there are a lot of these crazy, unhinged, radical, far-left progressives. If President Trump really was going after every person that disagreed with him, President Trump would have arrested, 120 million Americans, 120 million psychos just like this guy, okay, or whatever. And look at his shirt. Listen, you don't believe me? Take a look at the shirt. What does it say? Trump is a national disgrace. Imagine owning this. Not only does he own this shirt, this is John Bolton's neighbor, by the way. He came out here to complain to the media. Not only does he own the shirt, but then he puts it on, walks out of his house, and comes and complains to the media here. And why? And once again, why is John Bolton's house being raided by the FBI right now? It's because he has been leaking classified information, a lot of which was actually in his book that he wrote in 2020. That's right. If you guys have not heard the news, John Bolton wrote a book in 2020 about how terrible Trump is, in which he included classified information that he should not have included in the book. He published it in a book. In fact, it's even worse because he took classified information, he put it in the book, and then he sold it. He profited off of it. It's one thing to leak classified information. That's bad on its own. This guy, Bolton, he took classified information, included it in a book, in a tell-all bombshell book, and then he made money off of it. He was selling access to it. That's an angle about this that I didn't even think about. But that makes the entire situation even worse. He's trying to make money off of it. And so we're going back to the White House here. We're taking a look around. Okay, I see another confirmation here. This is as of 24 minutes ago. President Trump's announcement from the Oval Office, which was supposed to be at noon Eastern time, is delayed as Trump is not currently at the White House per the White House press pool. Once again, this is 25 minutes ago. He's apparently still at the Kennedy Center, but the press has been left waiting outside. Okay, now here's my question. Once again, guys, this has been delayed. We don't know how much it has been delayed. We don't know. He could show up any minute now, so stand by here. But what is President Trump doing at the Kennedy Center today? What is Trump doing at the Kennedy Center today? What is he doing over there? I don't know. Yeah, you can see all of the Secret Service guys. Well, you could. Secret Service is normally perched up here on the roof. They've got snipers up here keeping tabs on everything. Okay. So President Trump is visiting the John F. Kennedy Center today. It's the Center for Performing Arts to oversee ongoing renovations. Okay, he's launching a project to refurbish the center. That's right. I've heard about this. Okay. That's right. Which includes painting columns from gold to white and restoring the marble floors. Additionally, the Kennedy Center will house offices for the 2026 World Cup as part of these updates. We have the World Cup coming up. I guess we're hosting that. I'm not exactly a soccer guy, so I don't know all the details about that. There are no indications of other specific events or activities. So Trump was over there. I guess he just got hung up, given his input to these renovations here. But soon he's coming back to the White House. He'll be back at the White House here soon, and we're going to get this show on the road. Once again, folks, if you could do me a massive favor, you guys know the way the Rumble algorithm works, the YouTube algorithm. The more likes, the more people subscribing. It helps a lot. So, hey, if you guys have not already followed or subscribed, I appreciate it a ton. Matt Morse TV on YouTube and Matt Morse TV on Rumble. Thank you, folks, very much. Thank you very much. Alex Jones has an update about this Bolton situation. Take that for what it's worth. I'll play this clip here. What does Alex Jones have to say?
And all the rest of them. Now I've been telling you, you're going to get indictments. It's going to happen. The only issue is the deep state is going to obviously stage some type of crisis or false flag to try to change the subject and try to bail themselves out. So we're in an incredibly dangerous time right now. Also a very, very exciting time. They tried to kill Trump twice. Trump knows if he doesn't take them down, he's done when he gets out, and so is America.
It's a curious idea. Listen, so the notion here is that if Trump really is on the cusp of tearing apart the deep state, the Washington, D.C. deep state, unelected, shadow cabal apparatus, whatever you want to call it, if Trump really is taking that apart and dismantling it, and I think he's making the first couple steps towards doing that, are they just going to let that happen, or are they going to step up and try to stop? Are they going to try to do something terrible, maybe to try to stop that from happening? I saw the question. I think it's worth reminding. I saw somebody say, hey, what's going on here today? So, folks, today, President Trump, I'll pull this up here. You can see President Trump is set to make a bombshell announcement, a massive announcement. We don't even know the details of the announcement. President Trump is going to be holding a very rare Oval Office national address today. It was scheduled for 52 minutes ago. So we are big time behind schedule right now. I think this has gotten a little bit delayed, but we're not going anywhere. We're going to cover the entire deal. However long it is delayed, we are going to be here. So thank you for your patience. But anyway, this announcement could be one of a kind. We don't know the details. We don't know exactly what he is going to be announcing. It does seem like this has been a little bit delayed. So, if you want, we can sit here and kind of speculate about what this is going to be. Guys, there's 10 million things this could be. Somebody in the live chat says we're going to be bombing Venezuela. We could be talking about carrying out targeted strikes on Latin American cartel operations. We could be talking about breaking out Predator drones and blowing up cartel operations deep in the Mexican jungle. We could be talking about deploying the National Guard to the streets of all of these sanctuary cities. We could be talking about a new breakthrough with the Trump and Russia peace negotiations. We could be talking about some big, massive new trade agreement between the United States and China. I don't know. Oh, is the White House live now? Okay, hold up. Give me one moment. If that's true, then that will be a big bit of progress here. Thank you all very much. Ah, yes. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, the official White House page has just gone live as of 4 minutes ago. Okay, what does that mean? That means President Trump presumably is back in the White House. They're getting this thing going here. They're getting the show on the road any second now. So seems like earlier this morning, President Trump was at the Kennedy Center giving his feedback on some ongoing renovations. Seems like he got kind of hung up at the Kennedy Center. Things kind of fell behind schedule. Well, the big man himself is back in the White House. We're getting the schedule back on track. And now we're going to have this big announcement. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, but this is our live feed. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. Now we are We are directly, this is right outside of the Oval Office. On the patio right outside the Oval Office. All right. All right. And once again, folks, I do want to say, if you're tuning in, thank you very much. Can you guys believe this? On a Friday morning, we have over 10,000 people tuning in. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. God bless. Day by day, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking back this this country. Undeniably so. Do you guys ever think about this? Compare where we are today. It is August 22nd, 2025, to where we were as a country 12 months ago. 12 months ago. Call it 11 months. Call it less than a year. Just consider the degree, the drastic degree to which everything has changed. The border is secure. The fentanyl inflow into the country, killing young Americans, has been shut down. We talked about this yesterday. We have gotten rid of 1.6 million. 1.6 million illegal aliens have left the country, either by deportation or self-deportation. In the last couple months alone, the economy is getting back on track. Maybe it's not all the way there, but we're getting back on track. Things are coming together. We're getting this situation sorted. Listen, and it's going to be tough. I'm not blindly or stupidly, delusional, optimistically delusional here. Listen, the Biden administration did a lot of damage to this country. They did 4 years of every day they were tearing this country apart. Are we going to be able to fix every single problem that they caused during Trump's term here? We're going to try. We're going to start. But man, they caused a lot of damage. It might take not just 4 years. It might take 8 years. It might take 12 years to remediate, to solve, to fix the damage that they were able to do in 4 years. You guys know it's much more difficult to clean up a mess than it is to make a mess. So to say this kind of simply here. A lot of damage. Now I see this over in the Rumble chat. It says, this is from Broski Bear. He says, Matt, you get a lot of respect streaming on Rumble. Broski, I appreciate that. You know, speaking about how much this country has changed in the last couple of years, listen, I've been paying attention. I remember what it was like for a lot of these conservative commentators, conservative YouTubers, and whatever, live broadcasters, podcasters. I remember people getting shut down and silenced and shadow banned and banned on YouTube. Guys, just 4 years ago, if you talked about, let's put this into perspective. 4 years ago, if you were on YouTube and you were talking about how COVID came from a laboratory in China, you would get banned. You'd get banned on the spot. And also not just on YouTube, but also on Facebook and on Twitter at the time. If you said, I think it's a little bit weird. Maybe COVID came from this Wuhan virology lab. You would be banned. You would be deplatformed for saying that, let alone a million other things, right? If 3.5 years ago, if you were speaking out against all this just unhinged, insane, never-ending illegal immigration, the invasion, you would be, boom, deplatformed. And so, hey, luckily that's not where we are now as a country. Luckily that's not how things are now currently. But it doesn't mean it might not happen again. It could happen again in the future. God forbid, I hope it doesn't. But these things, if they happen once, maybe it can happen again. So this is why I am now doing live streams on Rumble and uploading my videos on Rumble too. We love YouTube. I'm very happy to be here on YouTube. However, I am historically aware. I know the way a lot of this stuff has gone. So hey, if you guys really enjoyed the show, the best things to do: follow, subscribe, like the video on YouTube, subscribe, like the video over on Rumble, on X. I'm going to give you guys a link here because it is a big deal. If you guys have an X account, formerly known as Twitter, make sure to follow on X. There it is. All the updates, everything that's going on. If I'm ever going to miss a day, if we're going live early, if we're going live late, if we're going live at all, we're doing a broadcast, X is the place to be. That's where all the updates are. And I appreciate, and I really do appreciate it a lot. I was saying about an hour ago, a lot of these other broadcasts you guys see, they've got multi-million-dollar studios, editors, script writers that are getting their talking points given to them from God knows who else. They're part of some organization, some think tank, some NGO. They're telling them what to say. This is a one-man operation. I am doing everything on my own. So all the editing I do, all the videos I make, all the script writing. In fact, do you guys? Well, I don't have it up right now. No, I do. Do you guys want to see something crazy? I want to show you kind of what goes in behind the scenes here. Take a look at this. Take a look. Okay. Every single video I have ever made on this channel, I have hand typed. I've typed it out in my notepad. I type out the script, and normally every video is about 4 pages worth of text. I have, right here, here's my secret document. I have 766 pages of video scripts that I have typed out by my 766. And the document just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So hey, listen, I am doing all of this. All of my notes, all of my scripts. I am down here in the trenches every day. So hey, when I say that I appreciate you guys tuning in, I appreciate it a lot. It really does mean a lot. I appreciate it. Who codes my AI? Man, like I said, I wish I wish I was AI. It would make my job easier, maybe. Hey Theron. Hey Theron, good to see you, man. You're a longtime viewer. Thank you, man. He says, when are we getting a Morse and Hivemind collab? You know what? I actually got a message from Liberal Hivemind last night. Liberal Hivemind is a good friend of mine. I've known him for probably 6 years, maybe more. And he actually messaged me last night. I need to respond to him later today. Now, when just, you know, no promises here. I'm gonna float an idea. It would be kind of cool here if Liberal Hivemind and I, if we linked up, if we kind of put something together. Who knows? I don't know what that would look like, but if we linked up and we put something together, I'll tell you my biggest desire. Every time I have to visit a news site, because I'm doing my research, I'm figuring out what's going on today. Like if I go to Fox News here, every time I have to go to a news site, I just get so pissed off. It bothers me so much. Okay, you have these pop-ups at the top. The video is auto-playing. I want to click the article. It bops around. It moves around. I click the article. I finally get it. The video auto-plays. We're back with the Fox. The audio is blasting your eardrums out. You got the pop-up thing down here in the bottom right. It's like, it's terrible. It's terrible. Using a lot of these news sites. And so I'll tell you something, there's part of me that just wants to make my own news website. Well, what's going on here? Oh, we're back. Are we back? Anyway, I was saying there's part of me that just wants to make my own news website with none of the pop-ups and none of the bullshit part of my language. It's just the news, and that's it. No annoying in-your-face pop-up stuff. That's something I think a lot about, but that would take a lot of time. I don't know if I have time for that. Maybe someday. Now, is the official White House page? No, they are saying, all right, President Trump is going to make his big announcement here pretty soon. Now, I see some super chats here. Let's go through these over here on YouTube. I appreciate this a lot. Let me take a look. So yeah, about the collab, you know, maybe we're doing something. I'm not sure. I see Build and Fix with Mooney. Thank you very much. Says, Matt, you and Benny bring me the best political news. Thank you for being a one-man show. I live a day. One live a day is great for me. And you know what? Maybe we're going to be doing two. I'm not sure. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. The Associate Press is back out. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving inside the Oval Office. Look at this. I think we're getting going here, folks. All right, wake up. Pay attention now. Look at that. Here we go. Need to crank up the audio a little bit.
All right.
It's a wonderful mouth he has. Okay, there we go. All right. I see they're talking something about the FIFA World Cup over there.
Hey, Brian.
What is the news of the day?
Thank you very much. We have a very big announcement to make today. You all know Johnny. He came all the way from Italy, the beautiful country of Italy, to be with us. And he just got off the plane, and he's a hardworking guy, does a phenomenal job with FIFA. Nobody like him. I'm delighted to welcome FIFA President Gianni Infantino back to the White House for a major announcement about one of the most anticipated competitions in all of sports, the 2026, and this is a big deal, I'll tell you, I was so happy to get it, the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And it's going to be the World Cup as we know it. It's the biggest, probably the biggest event in sports, I guess, Johnny, right?
Yeah.
On December 5th of this year, the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw will take place at the Kennedy Center. Some people refer to it as the Trump Kennedy Center, but we're not prepared to do that quite yet, maybe in a week or so. But right here in Washington, D.C., it's a tremendous honor to bring the global event and this incredible group of people and these unbelievable athletes, the best athletes in the world, to the cultural center of our nation's capital. I just left the Kennedy Center. We're spending a lot of money wisely on making it really beautiful. It's going to be beautiful again. It's like Washington, D.C. We had, by the way, in Washington, D.C., we have the lowest crime numbers they've had in years.
That's right.
Zero, it sounds like it's a horrible thing to say, but I might as well say it. Zero murders in the last week since we've done this. That's the first time in memory that that's happened, if you can believe it, how pathetic that is to have to even say it. And I'm tired of listening to these people say how safe it was before we got here. It was unsafe. It was horrible.
Yep.
And Mayor Bowser better get her act straight or she won't be mayor very long, because we'll take it over with the federal government, run it like it's supposed to be run. The numbers were horrible. It was a crime-infested rat hole. And they do have a lot of rats. We're getting rid of them, too. And we've made a lot of progress. And it was extremely unsafe, and now it's extremely safe. We had virtually no crime. The number was down 87%, and I'm trying to figure out where was the 13%, because I don't think it existed. The National Guard has been unbelievable, and they're working with the police. And they have some very good people in there. They have some people that shouldn't be police, actually. But they have some great people there. And the Washington, D.C. is a whole different place. And, Johnny, I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that, too, actually.
Oh, yes.
But it's a whole different place. People are excited again. They're going out to restaurants again. That was the other thing I saw numbers. That restaurant business is down in the last week. No. Restaurant business, you can't get into a restaurant. Just really lying people. And that's why people don't understand how bad and how dishonest the press is. I saw one poll that had us at 19% favorable on what we're doing with Washington. Then I saw another one that has us 94% favorable. And I can tell you the 94% is correct. The others are fake, just fake news. They got to get their act together. So bad for our country, so sick, actually. So Washington, D.C. is really doing unbelievably well. And the Kennedy Center that we're fixing, I was just there all morning with contractors. We're making it unbelievable. It's going to be unbelievable. It's got great bones, but it needs a lot of work. The World Cup draw will set up the group stage of competition. 48 teams will play in 104 games across 16 North American cities, from Seattle to Vancouver to Atlanta to Miami.
Wow.
It's going to be so exciting for our country. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be one of the largest and most complex events. This will be one of the greatest events, one of the largest. In a way, it's like Johnny said it better. It's like having many Super Bowls in a short period of time. Because each one of these games essentially is a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Some of them are bigger than Super Bowls, actually.
I don't know about that.
But they're essentially, each one of these games is like a Super Bowl. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be the largest, most complex set of events in sports history. And the Kennedy Center will give it a phenomenal kickoff, and we'll be involved, and they'll be working over there for quite a bit of time. We have it all set that they can stay there for the big events, the big press conferences and everything else. And they'll be in a very safe capital. That'll be nice. You don't have to worry about walking down the street, Johnny, okay?
Thank you.
But you could handle yourself.
I could.
Okay. Already, FIFA is projecting 6 million loyal fans will attend the World Cup events next year, and 6 billion more are going to be watching back home, and they think the $6 billion number is going to be actually a low number.
6 billion.
And this will drive more than $30 billion into the U.S. economy and create 185,000 American jobs in a short period of time, too. No sporting event attracts more attention, more fans, more viewers, or more revenue than the FIFA World Cup. And again, I'll just say it's the World Cup, and it's the biggest thing there is in sports, and we have it. And I got it in my first administration, and I was really somewhat devastated, as I can be. I don't have time to get too devastated. I was very happy that today, as you saw, the group that does this, a government group, radical left group, announced that Trump was right, took in $4 trillion worth of tariffs, that the $4 trillion are going to reduce the deficit by numbers far greater than they ever expected or heard of. And by the way, the stock market went up 1,000 points. That was as of 10 minutes ago. I can't tell you what happened. A lot of things happened. But the stock market's up almost 1,000 points. And it's basically on the news that the release that just came out from government that the tariffs that everybody was talking about, that the whole world respects us for because of what we did. The tariffs are going to be at $4 trillion. They're going to reduce the deficit by $4 trillion, Mr. Vice President.
Pretty good, sir.
Too bad it's not five. Right?
That's right.
It's had a huge impact, and the stock market is way up. But this will drive more than $30 billion in U.S. economy and create 185,000 American jobs. No sporting event attracts more attention or more fans or anything else. And I just look forward to the draw. So we're going to have the draw, essentially, Johnny, at the Kennedy Center. Yeah. And by that time, it'll be in even better shape. We're working on it. It's about a year project to make it. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. You see the way this is looking? Look, nice. I can't tell you how much that gold costs. A lot of money. There's nothing like gold, and there's nothing like solid gold. But this beautiful office needed it. It had to be representative. When we took it over, it was dirty, not clean. I immediately changed the chair and had this beautiful desk renovated, brought out by the White House. People that do this, they did a great job. We sent it out. We have a craftsman who's great. But this was not appropriate for the Oval Office when I took over. And now you look at all those paintings you're allowed to turn back. All of these are great presidents, and they were all in the vaults. They were in vaults for some cases much more than 100 years. And now they're proudly hanging on the Oval Office walls, and I can't imagine anybody changing it. But they were buried in vaults for over 100 years, many of them. So it's very exciting. People come in, they really love it. They love what we're doing here. They love what we're doing in D.C., and they love what we're doing, most importantly, in the country and the world. I'd like to ask Johnny to say a few words. He's the head of the whole thing. He's been there for a long time, probably the most respected man in sports. He's amazing, actually. Works very hard, and he's got the biggest event in the world coming right here to the United States. And a little, we did a little for Canada, we did a little for Mexico. We thought, see, I'm a good citizen. I said, let them have a little piece. So we gave a little to Canada, see how nice I am? And we gave a little bit to Mexico. And Johnny, please say a few words.
Thank you, President. Great honor for me to be here with you today, President, Vice President, Excellencies. Fantastic to announce what you said, which is the final draw of the FIFA World Cup on the 5th of December here in the capital, in the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. at 12 noon sharp. It will be broadcast live all over the world. 1 billion viewers will watch it, and it will determine, of course, the match schedule, which 48 participating teams will play. You said it, 104 matches in 1 month, 104 Super Bowls. This is not just the biggest, the greatest event, not just a sports event, it's a social event as well, with a lot of emotion. We are uniting the world, Mr. President, uniting the world. A lot of tourist money here in America, and we are very proud of that. And those teams, those national teams who will come here to participate in this draw with their coaches, with their presidents, they will all be proud to be part of writing this history. And that's why we brought as well this, which is the winner's trophy. It is the trophy that the winner of the FIFA World Cup wins. Only the FIFA president, presidents of countries, and then those who win can touch it, because it's for winners only. And since you are a winner, of course, you can as well touch it. It's pretty heavy.
It's official.
It's the winner trophy. The last one who lifted that is Lionel Messi of Argentina. And here it is in the Oval Office in the White House.
Can I keep it?
For you. Well, you can keep it after the World Cup.
We're not giving it back. That's serious.
It fits well.
That goes very well on the wall right over there. We'll put it right below the angels.
It fits well here, I think.
That's beautiful, yeah.
You can keep it until we have to give it to the next winner.
That's fine. That's a beautiful piece of gold, I will say. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So,
looks good.
6 billion viewers for the World Cup, 6 million coming to the matches, 30 billion economic impact, 185,000 jobs. This will be absolutely fantastic. The biggest event ever, and everything will start here in Washington D.C. at the Kennedy Center, or the Trump Kennedy Center. We'll see that how it will be called on the 5th of September at noon sharp. 5th of December, noon sharp. Then, if I may...
Will they be doing most of the draws, all of the draws at the Kennedy? Well, how are you going to do that?
Yes, we'll do that at the Kennedy Center. We'll do all the other meetings around it with the coaches, with the broadcasters, with the sponsors, everything at the Kennedy Center. The whole World Cup starts, and everyone will be happy because everyone has qualified for the World Cup, and they didn't yet play a game, so they didn't lose yet a game. So they all think they can become world champion, right?
They'll all be happy.
Exactly. Now,
by the way, an example, supposing we had a week ago when everybody was being killed and mugged and everything else, despite the phony numbers that were given out, that it was getting better. Brian, do you believe it was getting better or getting worse?
Oh, the crime was getting worse. I mean, I was robbed. It was getting way worse.
Yeah. How did the other guy come out?
He came out with a briefcase, unfortunately. Robert 1, Brian 0.
No, but can you imagine you do this and then you start hearing that they had a 20-year reduction of crime. It's worse. It was worse during the Biden administration than anybody's ever imagined possible. And I guarantee you he wouldn't be here if those numbers continued. But now we have total safety. We have total security. And for the border, in 3 months, 0 people. These are done by liberal people that do these charts. 0 people came through our border in the last 90 days. Can you believe it? 0. Last year we had millions of people coming in. And they came in from the wrong locations. They came in a lot of people that shouldn't be here. So now when we have this event in December, it's going to be very safe. Johnny, you can walk down the street with your beautiful wife.
Yeah.
You can take her to dinner if you can get a reservation, which I doubt.
They're all full, the restaurants.
I know. They're all full. I heard that too. The restaurants aren't. The restaurants, since we are doing this, are doing great. And many new restaurants are going to open because, as you know, many closed. Yeah. Many restaurants closed because the crime was so bad. This will be one of the safest places anywhere on earth. So, you know, I really am honored that the National Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police. And we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do. We have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe.
Do that.
Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this.
Okay.
And it won't even be tough.
All right.
And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats.
All right.
African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, and we're going to help with. And I think a lot of these people that you see on television, they are, including the people in this audience, they'll say bad things about me, and then they'll say, "Thank God he's here," because half of them got mugged, and they don't want to get mugged again. But they work for they work for stupid people that are radical left. And they're made to do things and say things that they don't want to be saying. But the people right here are all happy because you're not going to be mugged in Washington, D.C. anymore. I just want to say Johnny's been my friend for a long time. He's an incredible guy. And we will lay out the red carpet. Andrew, you're going to be fantastic. Rick is going to be everything Rick ever touched has always worked out. And he's working with me on the Kennedy Center. And his very good friend was an actor on Broadway for 5 years, right? And I assume he's helping us a little bit, right?
Yes.
And Andrew, you're all excited about it?
Absolutely.
Would you like to say something?
This is a great opportunity, Mr. President, to show off the first 250 years of the United States of America, the greatness and then the hope and promise of the next 250 years. When you think this World Cup is going to be over our 250th birthday, Mr. President, your leadership, obviously, with FIFA leading the way, this is the largest sporting event in the history of the world under the Trump administration. So very excited.
I just want to say one thing. Andrew Giuliani, so his father is Rudy, the greatest mayor in the history of New York.
Oh.
I think by far. He took a ravaged city, a city that was really under siege. Probably most people thought it was going to survive. He turned it around. He was a great, great mayor. And then they treated him very, very unfairly. You go back and tell your father all of the things that have come out over the last couple of months through Tulsi and through all of the people, Cash, everybody. They've proven your father 100% correct. His father was treated so unfairly. Your father has been 100% correct. And tell him we all love him, okay?
Thank you, Mr. President.
It's been amazing. What he had to go through was very, very unfair. Nasty. These are bad people. Mr. Vice President, would you like to say something?
Well, sure, Mr. President. Thank you, and thanks to Johnny for being here. We're very thrilled about the World Cup. Just to echo something the President said about crime in Washington, D.C., this is the national capital of the greatest nation in the world, and we had murder rates just a few weeks ago that rivaled some of the worst third world cities anywhere, even in very, very poor regions of the world. Why did we accept that? Why did we allow it to happen? We allowed it to happen because we had broken leadership in Washington, D.C., and unfortunately sitting behind the resolute desk. What we have shown in just under 2 weeks of taking law enforcement seriously is that the American people can have their streets back if their leadership is willing to put in the time and the resources. Mr. President, you've shown in Washington, D.C. that we can have safe streets again. We've just got to have the political willpower to focus on the bad guys and to give the American people back their communities. We are focused on doing that thanks to the President's leadership.
Thank you. And that's a really very small percentage. It's 2%, 3%, but that 2% and 3% wreaks just havoc throughout a community. People are petrified, and I notice a couple of the women in the back are shaking their head, yes, yes, yes. I won't report who you are because you'll end up losing your jobs, but it's true. It's amazing. And the police, and you look at the D.C. National Guard, I saw pictures of them last night getting off vans and all. And I saw some bad ones running, but they're not running so much anymore. They're not there. They're just not even. They're not even trying. You're totally safe. Now there'll be something happening sometime. I don't know. Maybe it won't be for a long time. But this was every night would get reports of people being mugged and killed. There's one woman on television last night. She had a badly busted up nose, and she's like our streets the way they used to be, and she thinks it's going to happen like by doing nothing. And they say, what happened to your nose? She got slugged by a guy walking down the street, slugged. Her nose will never be the same, I guarantee you, unless it takes a pretty good turn. She wasn't really for us. But she sort of said, well, maybe something has to happen. Before this happened to me, she got whacked. And I don't think she'll ever be the same. She was a half a Trump fan, a woman that would have never been a Trump fan, but she was hit hard. It's not going to happen anymore. Not going to happen anymore. But then we're going to beautify the city too. That's where I was today at Kennedy Center. We're going to beautify the city like it has it. And we're working with Clark Construction, the biggest construction company in Chicago, and in Washington. And the head of Clark is great. He's all over the world, actually. But Washington, I would say, is their home. That's where they do the best work, the biggest work. And they've been doing a fantastic job. So you're going to have a fantastic, clean, beautiful place. It's going to be better than it ever was before, literally better than it ever was before. We'll get it done very quickly. And I want to thank Clark because they're doing a lot of work in a lot of different locations, but they've been fantastic for getting us the right contractors and the people that can really do the job right. And Johnny, did you want to say something?
Yes, one more thing, because as you rightly say, with security and beautifying cities and the whole country, we want people to come and enjoy and have fun. And that's why this is not just the most iconic trophy in the world of sport, but we start on the 10th of September the sale of tickets for the FIFA World Cup. And we have the first ticket here for the final.
Good. Wow.
For you.
Oh, good.
That's cool.
Wow.
Look at that.
It's, of course, row 1, seat 1. It's ticket number 45,
so.
47. And it's for the final in New York, New Jersey. And so you have your ticket already for the final. All the others, 10th of September, start getting your tickets.
That's beautiful, yeah.
6.5, 7 million tickets. Fans will enjoy the security here. Will be fantastic.
You're going to do record business, I think.
100%.
Christy, would you like to say something?
Yeah, Mr. President, millions of people will come to this country, and we'll make sure they get their travel documents, their visas, that they want to come here and spend their money and enjoy this sporting event. It'll be the largest event in the world. And sir, you're reminding me of something that my dad used to say all the time when I was growing up. He would say, Christy, you kids need to look like you respect yourself before anybody's going to respect you.
Ooh.
And in this country, when people look at our streets, when they look at our capital, you're bringing respect back to this city. And people will respect our country more because it's safe, it's clean, it's beautiful. And what you're doing is transforming this nation by making sure that our laws are upheld. And millions of people are going to come and be able to enjoy it next year. And I'm excited about that. Thank you for doing that.
Well, our country is respected again. And a year ago, we had a dead country. I'm telling you, it was a dead country. It was a country that had lost its way. It was a country that was going to fail. Look,
Yes,
even today,
was.
where they say $4 trillion in reductions of deficits, and this was totally unexpected. They didn't expect it. I mean, I don't know where they've been, the people that do this stuff, but it's terrible. I want to thank Christy for another reason. I said to her 2 weeks ago, I said, Christy, do me a favor. I built hundreds of miles of wall. I built the same wall that the Border Patrol asked me to build. It wasn't my first choice. I wanted to do concrete plank and everything nice, but you wouldn't have been able to see through it. So I had Border Patrol in, and they tested everything else. And we gave them steel wall, high-grade steel, very hard to cut. Then we gave inside that is 9,000-pound concrete, which is a very tough concrete. Inside that is rebar, a big, fat piece of rebar. So you have all different materials that are very hard to cut, and you need different instruments to cut each one. And I said, Kristen, we got to get a coat of paint on it. And I didn't know she was listening, but I said, we got to get a coat of paint, and it should be black, because black makes the steel very hot. It's untouchable. You could fry an egg on it.
Yep.
And if you got a good black, flat paint, it would look beautiful. It will preserve it from rust. And that was it. And I gave it to her along with 30 other things, and she's done such a good job on the border with Tom Homan and the group. Tom Homan's a fantastic guy, what the job he does and the way they work together. So I turned on last night and I see Christie's painting the wall. And it looked beautiful, by the way, when that paint went over there.
And it's hot.
It's hot.
Yes, it is.
It's hot. If it's white, it's not hot. If it's black, it's going to be very hard to climb that sucker. It's not going to be easy. But it's black and a high quality black. You know, it really looked good.
Yeah, we got
Is
the
that going to
paint
be a
you told us
two-coat
to.
job or a one-coat?
No, just one coat.
One coat.
We used the paint you told me to buy.
Yep. The two-coat will take place in 3 years from now. Right? We'll do the second coat. But it looks beautiful. But thank you very much. I didn't know you were listening to that, because we talked about 7 different subjects, and all of a sudden I see you're out there painting with a lot of painters and everything else. But it was a beautiful thing to say.
Yeah.
Would you like to say something? You've been such a big part of this. Please.
Well, just, Mr. President, we're delighted to be here today for this announcement, but we're also looking forward to having you at the final.
Oh, yes.
On July
Oh, yes.
19th
No, we'll be
in New
there.
York, New Jersey.
We're going to be there. A lot of people are going to be there.
A lot of people.
I'd like to thank you all. Do you have any questions on FIFA, first of all?
It's going to be a big event at the Kennedy Center. Do you intend to take part in it? Will you have a part to play on December 5th?
I might play. I mean, I see the money that these soccer players, we call it soccer, but I see the money that these soccer players are making. I may try and play. I'm a very good athlete. My son is a very good athlete, and he's a good soccer player. He's on the tall side for soccer. Yeah. He's 6'9". That's pretty tall, but
that's pretty tall.
It's on the tall side.
That's pretty tall.
It's on the tall side, but he's
It's a
good.
little
But
bit
no,
taller.
I may put on shorts. I look extremely good in shorts and join the play. No, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be good.
Many foreigners who want to come to attend the event are concerned about the visa situation. Can you reassure them?
Yeah, they're going to have a very easy time getting in. Certain countries are going to be very, very easy, and other countries are going to be obviously a little bit more difficult. Would you like to explain that, Christine?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a process set up that we'll be implementing on getting visas approved. Everybody will be thoroughly vetted, but they'll be welcome to this country. It'll happen quickly, and we're excited for them to come. So I would hope that around the world people know that the United States is excited to bring their family here to enjoy this event.
America welcomes the world.
Yes.
And I can really, from the collaboration that we have, testify for that. Absolutely. Thank you.
And I was just sent a picture from somebody that wants to be there very badly. He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one, and I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens.
Wow.
He may be coming, and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him.
Italian guy just
so
got
that was very nice
uncomfortable.
It was sent to me.
You could tell.
Mr. President,
On
yes.
that subject, have you talked to Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine? What's your reaction to
I
that?
told him I'm not happy about it, and I'm not happy about anything having to do with that war. I said I settled 7 wars, and actually, if you think about pre-wars, add 3 more, so it would be 10. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack in terms of difficulty. No, I'm not happy about anything about that war. Nothing. Not happy at all. We'll see what happens. I think over the next 2 weeks we're going to find out which way it's going to go. And I better be very happy.
Mr. President, I had frankly a very good call with Prime Minister Carney of Canada yesterday morning.
Yes.
Actually, Canada is taking away some retaliatory tariffs.
He's removing his tariffs, yeah.
Exactly.
He's removing his retaliatory tariffs, which I thought was nice. And we're going to have another call soon. Okay. Yeah, we had a very good call.
You're getting closer towards an agreement on trade?
I like them. You know, look, I'm fighting for the United States. Canada and Mexico have taken a lot of our business over the years, over 25, 30 years. Especially during the Biden years. They took a lot of our business, and it's basically all coming back into the United States now. Well, hot as a pistol, and it's coming back in. Because of tariffs and the incentives we give, it's coming back. And it's impossible, I think, for another country to stop it. And we are working on something. We want to be very good to Canada. I like Carney a lot. I think he's a good person. And we had a very good talk yesterday, so I think it'll be good.
Mr. President, I have a question about the search of Ambassador Bolton's home. The Vice President recently just did an interview saying that it's about classified documents, but that there's also broad concern about him. What are the concerns?
Well, I haven't spoken to Pam in the group yet, but I will be. I saw that just like everybody else. I try and stay out of that stuff. I'm allowed to be, and I'm chief law enforcement officer, believe it or not. You know, I don't like to go around saying that, but I am. That's the position. But I purposely don't want to really get involved in it. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. I thought he was a sleazebag, actually. And he suffers major Trump derangement syndrome, but so do a lot of people, and they're not being affected by anything we do. I don't know anything about it. I just saw that. I'll find out about it. But if you believe the news, which I do, I guess his house was raided today. But my house was raided also, called Mar-a-Lago. They went through everything they could, including my young son's room and my wife's area. They went through her drawers, as the expression goes. They went through everything you can imagine. And when she came back, she said, she's very neat, you know, she's meticulous. And she looked and she said, whoa, this wasn't the way that she had it. So, you know, so I know the feeling. It's not a good feeling. Thank you.
Mr. President, how long will you give Putin?
A couple of weeks. We're going to figure it out. We'll find it.
Do you think you'll have to intervene at some point?
Look, it takes 2 to tango. You understand that. I wanted to have a meeting with those 2. I could have been at the meeting, but a lot of people think that nothing's going to come out of that meeting. You have to be there. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But we're going to see. In the meantime, people continue to die. But I've solved 7 of them where they were in wars for 31, 35, and 37 years. We had 3 of them that were for more than 30 years, Johnny, and I got them solved. And we solved one that could have been a nuclear war with India and Pakistan. That was getting ready to be a nuclear war. I solved them all. And this one, I thought we would have had it done by now, but it's more difficult. There's a lot of anger, a lot of hatred. There's a tremendous amount of hatred there. So, but we'll see what happens. I think in 2 weeks we'll know which way I'm going. Because I'm going to go one way or the other. And they'll learn which way I'm going.
Mr. President, I got 2 questions for you. One on FIFA, the other one on DC. Let's talk. Can you talk about the economic impact that FIFA will have in these cities, and what's your message to the mayors to get their cities prepared?
That's a good question.
Not only the beautification process, but also the safety aspect.
Well, Los Angeles is an example. You know, it's poorly run. We have a mayor there that can't even get permits to the people that lost their houses. Lee Zeldin got every permit. The hardest permit is the federal permit. Within 20 days, every single permit was there for the people to build their houses. But people are writing us and they're saying they won't give us. The mayor is incompetent. The governor is incompetent. You know, Gavin. I know Gavin very well. He's an incompetent guy with a good line of bullshit, and he doesn't get the job done. And frankly, those people want to build their houses. It's terrible. They could have been built. Some of them could have been built already. But think of it, the federal government that has the most complex part, it's the most complex environmental thing to do. We got it, everybody had it within 30 days. And they're not even close to getting their permits. And now they're talking about taking some of those sites and building low-income housing on them. These are high-end neighborhoods. And I'm all for low-income housing. I built a lot of low-income housing. I know all about 236. I know every program that there is in the government. I used every one of them. I know more about low-income housing than probably almost anybody. And it's great. It's fine. It's wonderful. But you don't build it in Pacific Palisades. You don't build it there. And you don't build it in the other areas that burned down. So they're talking about putting up low-income housing. And you talk about riots. They're going to have riots if that happens because you're taking the people's property away. They want to build their houses, and they're unable to get permits from the mayor and from the governor. And that's a terrible thing. But, and let me tell you, if I didn't send in the troops in Los Angeles, Johnny wouldn't be in Los Angeles. You wouldn't be having your World Cup there. I sent in the troops, and we kept it. And even the police commissioner, the sheriff and the police commissioner, they all said the same thing. They said, we could have never handled what was happening. You saw that, you were there. He said we could have never handled what was bad. And then you hear Gavin Newsom. After it's all quelled, you hear Newsom get up and say, we could have done this for ourselves. No, they couldn't have. And if they could have, I wouldn't have taken the chance either.
Okay, my second question is on crime prevention. Would you be open to expanding the national concealed carry to apply to D.C. like it does in other states like Texas?
Yeah. Well, they have it in some states and they feel strongly about it. As you know, I'm in favor of it. People have to protect themselves. I'm a Second Amendment person, very simply. People have to be able to protect themselves. Especially like in Washington, you walk down the street, a guy comes up and slugs you. He's got a pistol in his hand. You can be tough, you can be in great shape, you can be a powerful person, or you can be a guy that weighs 100 pounds with a gun in your hand. Right. And I'll bet on the guy with the gun 100% of the time, right? And so you need protection. So I'm a Second Amendment person all the way. Yeah, please.
President Trump, you said this morning that you're working with Congress to get $2 billion to help clean up DC. Have you had any conversations with Mike Johnson and John Thune about where they're going to get that money from?
Which money?
You said this morning that you're going to get $2 billion from Congress to help clean up DC.
Yeah, I've spoken to Mike Johnson. I've spoken to John Thune, the Senate, the House. And I think it's going to be very easy to get. It's going to be not a lot of money. I wouldn't even know where to spend the number that you mentioned, but it's going to be money to beautify the city. Yeah, they're ready. Everybody wants to save D.C. In one way, it's the easiest. The violence was more than any other city in the country, actually, by far. It may have been more than any other city in the world, if you could think. We looked at some of the worst cities in the world. It was bad. Worse, and that's why it angers me to see the mayor saying about how they have it on the slide. Not on the slide. It was worse than ever. We have no problem getting that money. That money will come out of Congress. I think it'll be even bipartisan.
And is the plan?
I would imagine Democrats would vote for that one.
Is the plan to get it before the September 30 spending deadline on the Hill?
Well, I don't know if there is a deadline, because if I declare a national emergency, which this was, that ends the deadline. So, I mean, I keep seeing about a 30-day deadline, of which we have 22 days left or something. But if I think we're in great shape here, that's one thing. But if I don't, I'm going to just say it's a national emergency. And if I have a national emergency, I can keep the troops there as long as I want. If people are not going to want to have the troops in 30 days, you know, it's one thing to get them out. It's another thing to keep them out for a long period of time. You've got to train people. You can't do this. You can't bop people over the head. And a lot of those people are in courts right now, going to court. They're going to go to jail for a long time. So that's going to take more than 30 days. But if I have to, I'll declare a national emergency, which I don't think I'll have to do. Yeah.
Mr. President, can I ask you about a question? You said in 2 weeks you'll know whether you go.
Yeah, I think I'll know the attitude of Russia and, frankly, of Ukraine. It takes two.
What are the 2 ways you can go at the end of 2 weeks then?
Well, then I'm going to make a decision as to what we do. And it's going to be a very important decision. And that's whether or not it's massive sanctions or massive tariffs or both. Or do we do nothing and say it's your fight? Look, I would have never been in this war if I were president. You wouldn't have had this war. It was never going to happen. This was caused by stupid people that fought. And you know, people say, well, how do we know? Because for 4 years, it was never even a subject. And Vladimir knew, and you see his picture right here. It was nice that he sent, but Vladimir knew very strongly we wouldn't have stood for it. It wouldn't have happened. 100% wouldn't have happened, but it did happen. And now they're losing from 5 to 7 young kids. Think of it, you're a parent and your son is leaving. He's Russian or he's Ukrainian. And he's leaving and they're waving goodbye. Nice, beautiful kid. Nice crew cut, all set. He wants to be a soldier. And he goes there first week, he has his head blown off. And he's no different than you people, me. And it doesn't matter where. I mean, I solved a problem in the Congo that was vicious. Rwanda and the Congo, the Republic of the Congo. And they were fighting for 31 years, and it was machetes. People were getting their heads chopped off. That was going on for 31 years. I got it solved. You saw it. They came to the White House. We signed an agreement. It was amazing. People can't believe we got it done. I love to stop killing. I really do. People thought it would be just the opposite. Hillary Clinton said, oh, he'll get us into a war. No, I'm getting everybody else out of wars.
Are you saying there's a real possibility then that you do nothing if Putin doesn't come to the table for a ceasefire?
I'll see whose fault it is. If there are reasons why, I'll understand that. I know exactly what I'm doing. We're going to see whether or not they have a meeting. That'll be interesting to see. And if they don't, why didn't they have a meeting? Because I told them to have a meeting. But I'll know in 2 weeks what I'm going to do. I have pretty good ideas.
Your Justice Department is also sending some of the Epstein files over to the House Oversight Committee today. Are you in support of them releasing all of them?
Keeping it open.
If they wanted to release,
people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be. People, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax. So we had the greatest 6 months, 7 months in the history of the presidency, and the Democrats don't know what to do, so they keep bringing up that stuff. But it affected them. Bill Clinton was on his plane and went to the island supposedly 28 times. I don't want to bring that up, 28. Frankly. You have Larry, whatever his name is, Summers, the head of Harvard, who was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. Nobody ever talks about that. I mean, but I don't want to hurt Larry Summers, but he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. No, this is a Democratic hoax to try and get the significance of what we've done over the past 7 months. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They say it's #1 in history. What we've done, including stopping 7 wars. I mean, just include that. And now you look at the stock market today. It's way up to start off with from where I took it. And this market was going to crash. If Joe Biden or Kamala were president, this market we would have had a crash like in 1929. You're not going to have that. It's only a question of how high is it going to go. You know, I had the strongest economy in the history of our country. And despite COVID, we had the strongest economy in the history of our country, and we're going to blow it away this time. I was always good at making a lot of money, and whether it was for myself or whether it was, I like doing it this way better. I mean, I like making it for the country. Our country's been ripped off by friend and foe, nations all over the world ripped off, and the friends have been much worse than the foes for the most part. And they're not ripping us off. We just signed a deal with the European Union. They're paying us essentially $950 billion, like a signing fee. They're going to buy $750 billion worth of energy. They weren't buying much of our energy there. And they're very smart in doing it. And as you know, Ursula was here a couple of days ago having to do with the people, the leaders that we had a great, people said they've never seen anything like it. Well, we had the leaders of Europe right here in the Oval Office. And she's so happy that she has an agreement. But people aren't ripping us anymore. We're run by, this country is run by smart people now.
Mr. President, in Israel... Two questions. One is about Intel. There have been reports that you're considering taking a stake in Intel. Can you tell us
About the 10%?
About the 10%.
Yeah, I met a man. He was a very nice man, and I called for his removal because I saw something by a man named Tom Cotton, a senator from Arkansas. He's a great guy, friend of mine, supporter of mine, big supporter. I'm a supporter of his too. And he wrote a pretty nasty story about the head of Intel. And I said, well, if that's right, he should resign. And he came in, he saw me, we talked for a while. I liked him a lot. I thought he was very good. I thought he was somewhat a victim, but, you know, nobody's a total victim, I guess. And I said, you know what? I think the United States should be given 10% of Intel. And he said, I would consider that. I said, well, I'd like you to do that because Intel has been left behind, as you know, compared to Jensen and some of our friends, NVIDIA, some of the people, and the people in, because Intel should have never been. Intel was the biggest, most powerful chip company in the world. And then they started leaving. And they started going to foreign countries, in particular Taiwan. And if we had a president that would have said, okay, you can go to Taiwan, but we're going to put a 100% tariff or a 200 or 300 or 500% tariff.
By the way, that's the
Anybody that sells into the United States has to pay. They wouldn't have left. They would have never left, and we wouldn't have. So in the meantime, we had people that were, in some cases, good politicians that weren't good on trade. I loved that man, but he was not good on trade. I totally disagreed. He allowed the car industry to be taken out of this country. We lost 50% of our car industry. But that's all coming back. It's all coming back. But if somebody would have said that with Intel, would be a giant right now. Now, with that, they've had some bad management over the years, and they got lost. And I said, I think you should pay us 10% of your company. And they said, yes. That's about $10 billion. I don't get it. This comes to the United States of America. And I said, I think it would be good having the United States as your partner. He agreed. And they've agreed to do it. And I think it's a great deal for them. And I think it's a great deal. He walked in wanting to keep his job, and he ended up giving us $10 billion for the United States. So we picked up $10 billion. And we do a lot of deals like that. I'll do more of them. If somebody has, like we have restrictive covenants with Jensen. We have, it's NVIDIA. And to unrestrict the covenant, nothing to do with losing our powers or military or anything, because that I wouldn't do. But there are things you can do that don't affect us, that actually help us. And if we're going to give somebody a free out, a restricted covenant, we have a strong restrictive covenant on certain industries. And I will absolutely give somebody a opening on a restrict to do a lot of business, which is good for us, as long as it doesn't hurt us in a security or military way. And if I do that, I think the country should be paid, because anybody else, I have it in real estate where I'll have a deal with somebody and I'll have them restrictive covenant. Then they'll come back and they'll say, I'd love to be able to build over here, but I'm not allowed to because you have me covered, you have me restricted. I say, I'll let you build over there, but pay me a lot of money. No different. But the country never did it because the country was run by foolish people.
You said Chicago might be next. Are you making, have there been concrete steps that the administration is taking to do that? Or what are other cities as well?
I haven't spoken to them. He's grossly incompetent. I haven't spoken to the mayor. No. When we're ready, we'll go in and we'll straighten out Chicago. just like we did D.C.
All right.
Chicago's very dangerous, great place. I built great stuff there. I have the most beautiful building in Chicago, I think. But I hate to see what's happened to Chicago. Chicago was our greatest city, actually. Bob Tisch, a great friend of mine, passed away. He used to own the Giants and very successful Lowe's. He said Chicago, I think they had their main office in Chicago. He said Chicago and San Francisco are the two greatest cities in the world. Now you look at what the Democrats have done to San Francisco. They've destroyed it. I own a big chunk of the Bank of America building in San Francisco. And, you know, it's just different. We can clean that up too. We'll clean that one up too. No, if everything works out, and we've already had calls from other cities, quiet calls from Democrats. We'd love you to come here because they've lost control of their cities. I'm not going to say because I don't want them to lose their elections. But we've had calls from Democrats and calls from people generally.
Really?
We'd love you to come here because we'll straighten out the problems.
Mr. President, in Israel, the
That
families
is
of
big.
hostages
That's big.
in Israel, families of hostages are opposed to the reoccupying of Gaza. Why is the U.S. still
Well, not all
supporting
of them. And you have to understand, I'm the one that got all of the hostages out. You got a lot of people out. If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be out. I worked with Bibi and I worked with Steve Witkoff. But if it wasn't for me, you would have all these hostages would most likely be dead right now, every one of them. So they all come up here. They come in groups of 10, 12, 13, and many of them, and I've gotten to know a lot of them. They're great people. What they had to go through is incredible. But so now they have 20, but the 20 is actually probably not 20 because a couple maybe aren't around any longer. It's a terrible thing. No, I don't like anymore. I said, you know, when you get down to 20, they're not going to make deals anymore. And they didn't. And then I put out a statement, as you know, that was a tough statement, go in and get them. And they said, we'll give you 10, we'll give you 10. I don't know what Israel's doing, but they were willing now immediately to give us another 10. The situation has to end. It's extortion and it has to end. And we'll see what happens. I actually think they're safer in many ways if you went in and you really went in fast and you did it. And people can't forget October 7th, remember that. I'm friendly with all groups. I won the Arab vote in Michigan. I did so great with the Arab vote, remember? I started off at 0, I ended up winning. I wouldn't say the candidate was the greatest, but I would have won against anybody. They're great people. But we have to do things properly. And you know, I'm very proud to say I got the hostages out. You have hundreds of people that are living now because of me. And now we have that final little group of people. And Hamas knows that if they give them, that's probably the end of their lives. So it's not easy to get. And I know if you're a parent, you just don't care. You want, I want my baby back. They want their babies back. They want their kids back. And I understand it. But I got them out and did a good job. And we're doing everything we can to get the hostages out. Thank you all very much. Yes?
So Jackson Hole, Jay Powell today said, he suggested that they might cut interest rates, but they have to proceed.
Well, we call him too late for a reason. He should have cut him a year ago. He's too late. You know, we have a stock market that's up 1,000 points today. I better be careful because I go out there and I'll see it's down 1,000, right? But it's up 1,000 points when I came in here. We have a country that the market's the hottest it's ever been. The country's better than it's ever been. We have a military that I rebuilt largely in my first term. We had a great, successful first term, but this is going to be even better. But we rebuilt it. We gave a lot of it away to Afghanistan, but relatively small compared to the overall. But I think it was the most embarrassing day and period in the history of our country that they allowed those 13 wonderful people, but it's really hundreds of people were killed. And they don't talk about the 48 that were so severely wounded with no legs, no arms, nobody ever mentions them except me. But that was the worst day, the most, it just showed how incompetent. Frankly, if that didn't happen, I really believe that you might not have had the problem with Russia. I think Putin was sitting there watching these stupid people running our country and said, this is a time to invade. It's, this is a time. And then Biden made the statement, well, he can do a small incursion. When he said that, it was off to the races, right? When he said he can do a small incursion, remember that? I was surprised he knew the word incursion. I didn't think he had that good of a vocabulary. I want to thank everybody. It's very important to me and to everybody up here, the World Cup. And Johnny has been so incredible. I mean, he's really a great leader. I mean, to think, I said, Johnny, do it by phone. You don't have to come. No, he said, I'll come. and he flew all night long to be here and listen to this about how great we're doing in D.C. But he's a fantastic leader, and this will be your most successful World Cup ever. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much. America, yeah. Can we win it, Mr. President?
I don't know. That's I watch some of those teams go right. They go down that field. I don't know. But let me ask you: what chance does America have of winning?
Well, the home team always has a good chance to win. It depends
See,
how
he's
it
a good
starts.
diplomat.
No, but has some good
We have a
players.
shot. We have a
Of course, you have a chance.
Will Bears
I don't know if we're
going
going to win.
games, Mr. President?
I'd love to have him. He'd love to. He's very tall. Maybe we could make him a goalie. The goalies are very tall now, right?
Yeah, goalies are very tall.
The goalies, well, he'd be a perfect goalie.
100%.
At his height, he'll be a great
Yeah,
goalie.
exactly.
So we'll put him with the American team.
Yeah.
No, but
Goal.
do the Americans have a chance of like getting into the quarterfinals?
Yes,
right?
definitely. No,
Yeah.
the quarterfinal definitely. But then, as the tournament goes on with the public 250 years of United States, let's not forget, they will all feel energized about that.
You know, it's amazing. The talent is really great when you watch these things. I went to the game 2 weeks ago, and it was a big upset. But you look at these people; the way they pass it. It's amazing, really amazing. It's a great art, right? It's great talent.
It is incredible.
You know the expression.
Is that of the hat?
This what?
Will you draw the names? The matches? Will you?
I don't know. That's up. He's the boss.
That's an interesting proposal.
He's the boss.
We'll discuss that.
It's going to be great, and I think the American team is going to do well. I mean, I hear it's a very good team. Good luck, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
You keep a lot of those. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Good to talk about your folks.
Thank you.
So don't dip out
That
yet.
was a nice photo. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Keep moving. Thank you. Thank you guys. Keep moving.
I just want to make sure that we are concluding.
Thank you, everybody. Keep moving.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Keep moving. Keep moving. Thank you guys.
I think that's it. Beautiful office, the gold trim, the gold everything. I need to build my house out of gold. That looks good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's a big takeaway here that I think we can all share together. So what is the big, there's multiple tidbits of information here that President Trump has given us. What is really, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest piece of news for those of us that don't really care a whole lot about soccer or football? President Trump said today that he's looking at, after he's done cleaning up Washington, D.C. with the National Guard, that he's planning on taking the National Guard all the way over to the great city of Chicago to clean up the streets of Chicago using the National Guard. Okay, that is a big bombshell revelation. We did not know that. In fact, he also said, beyond Chicago specifically, he said he's getting phone calls from Democrat mayors, even Democrat governors, Democrat politicians across the country saying, hey, listen, I'm seeing what you're doing in Washington, D.C. Please come to my state. Please come to my city and do the same thing. But don't tell anybody that I asked you to do it. Because, that's a replay there. I guess I'm going to go full camera here. A lot of the Democrats, they don't want to be viewed by their voters, by their fellow radical progressives. They don't want to be seen as working with President Trump or allowing the National Guard into the city. But low key, they're like, yeah, listen, the problem is out of my control. I can't do anything to solve all the crime and violence and homelessness in the city, whatever it is, Portland, Seattle, LA, San Francisco, whatever. And so he's saying a lot of them are actually calling him saying, hey, listen, Trump, please come on over. Help me clean up my city. And so if we're talking about cities beyond Chicago where this might be the case, where would you first and foremost look? Where would you expect Trump to bring the National Guard first to help clean up? Well, okay, this is where it kind of ties into our news today, talking about the FIFA World Cup. So I'm trying to put together a list here. In what U.S. cities are we going to be hosting the FIFA World Cup? Because they said in 16 different cities, all the FIFA World Cup games, it's not only one event, it's 16 different cities will be hosting different aspects, components of the FIFA World Cup. And so I'm curious, okay, what cities are going to be having FIFA World Cup games in 2026? As it would turn out, 11 out of the 16 have been announced. 5 cities have not been announced. Take a look at this. Atlanta, Georgia, Boston, Massachusetts, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, Kansas City, Missouri, Los Angeles, California, Miami, Florida, New York and New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, San Francisco, and Seattle, Washington. Well, as it would turn out, many of these cities are these big problematic cities that are infested with crime and mayhem. And so there's 5 more cities that have yet to be announced. Who knows what those ones are going to be? Here's 11 out of the 16, though. It would make perfect sense if President Trump, and this is a perfect justification. This is a perfect pretense with which to deploy the National Guard to clean up these cities. Don't you think? Do you understand kind of what I'm saying here? Listen, we are hosting the biggest sporting event in the world. They said, 6 billion people around the world are tuning in. 6 to 10 million people are flying into the country to come attend, to come visit all of these World Cup soccer games, football games. This is the perfect justification, the perfect pretense to clean up all of these cities, to send in the National Guard to clean up the streets. Hello, we have to make these cities safe, because we have the entire world's attention. The entire world is going to be looking at what's going on here. We don't want to have European tourists or tourists from wherever else visiting Seattle or Houston, Texas, and then getting gunned down by a bunch of gang members when they're trying to watch the football game or the soccer game. So we got to clean it up. We got to clean it up preemptively. This is what I would expect. First and foremost, over the next couple months, if we're talking about National Guard being used to clean up the streets, I'm looking at these cities first and foremost, in addition to Chicago. And then the other 5 mystery unannounced cities. But this is, I think, where all of this is going. I think we're kind of building momentum in that direction. Let me know what you think about that. Now, I want to say, guys, wow, what a show. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, guys. We are live on Rumble, Matt Morris TV. We are live on YouTube, Matt Morris TV. If you guys could do me a real quick favor, we're going to wrap up the show here in a minute because I've got some real life stuff I've got to get taken care of today. But everyone, please do me a favor, follow on X. This was one hell of a broadcast. Everybody, thank you all for your patience going into this. I appreciate you guys for being here. We have just the best community that you ever could have, that anyone ever could have. So thank you all very much. I am going to wrap up the show. We have heard everything that President Trump had to say. All of the super chats, Rumble, and on YouTube. Isaac H, he says, taking care of Americans is reason enough. I think and of course, I agree with you on that. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, everybody today. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all tomorrow, of course, for our Saturday broadcast. And until then, everybody have a great night and have a great Saturday morning. And God bless you, your family, and the United States of America. So thank you all. But I am out of here. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.